Luke Alexander, Miami, Florida. Well, this is how I prefer it because we never formally met, but on the highway we did once.
Yeah, that was so crazy. You just waved. I saw you. It's like, that's Scott.
We did that, but like it's cool to sit down and actually just conversate without like any preconceived notions or anything.
Very real.
I know, like, didn't you grow up in like a pretty small town?
Very small.
How small the town?
I don't know like the population of people, but for context, like I could not get internet access. Like it was that like
Before Sark.
yeah. So that did exist. Yeah, unfortunately, probably been a lot wealthier now if I had Starlink, but yeah, no internet. Like it's not a joke. Like people think I'm joking. Like I physically could not get it. Like
Damn. So you're talking like under 10,000 people.
in town, maybe I don't know how many. It's called a village. Like we weren't even a city or a town. Like the denomination of the like whatever you call that. Like the town was classified on the map as the village of Piketon because it was so small.
Piketon, what state is that?
Ohio.
Piketon, Ohio.
So southern Ohio, like right on the tip of like the Appalachia, starting to,
I see.
you know.
Were you there all the way until you got to Miami?
So I was there until I was 18. And then from like watching your guys' videos, like you and Seb and Iman and everybody, I was like, fuck this, I gotta like make money. So I went to college with the plan of I just needed internet access. So I swear to God. So I got the scholarship and I went to college and I moved like 2.5 hours away to Dayton, Ohio, to a college called Wright State. I was there for like a semester, 2 semesters, and then dropped out, was there for like another year, and then moved to Miami.
You might be the first person who's ever moved to college just for internet access.
Well, I had to, bro. I had no other choice. So I was like, yeah, let's just get out of here.
So like the McDonald's around you didn't have internet or anything?
So it was in the town over from us.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have a car. So even if there was like a library or whatever, like I couldn't drive.
So what was your house like? Was it like a pretty small house?
It was like a large house because it was like out in the country and my grandpa had built it. So like it was a large size house, but it was falling apart. Like I moved my mom here out of that house. Luckily she lives like in a nice neighborhood down here, but it like collapsed. Like the bathroom fell in like after she left.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it was like moldy. It's like spiders everywhere, like all that kind of crazy shit.
And so when you say you were watching my videos, were you watching that in college or like?
High school. Like it was like high school. So senior year when I started to learn what everything was. I think your videos genuinely, because the first product I ever sold was like natural like charcoal, like teeth, like
Oh yeah, I was class.
toothpaste. Yeah. And I remember setting the ads up at work because I worked in the town over. I was a lifeguard and I cleaned the gym, the YMCA, like the town over from our town. And I would set up the ads there, like once I bought a laptop, like the last 2 months of senior year. And I was watching a lot of yours and Seb's videos to try to learn.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So were you doing internet at your job?
Yeah. Because I had internet there, but I didn't have it where I worked. So I kind of like made a deal with my manager and I was like, hey, like I'll get my stuff done. Let me like play about that.
That's wild. So none of your neighbors had internet either.
No.
Did you even have neighbors? Did you not?
Oh yeah. So I had a neighbor across the street. It's called a holler. It's a country ass word. So it's like 2 big hills, and then the road obviously splits them, like kind of like a river would. But then at the base of each hill is where the houses would be. So it's like my house, the road, my neighbor's house, and then my grandpa lived beside me. I made a trail of the woods to his house. That was it.
That's true country right there.
Very country.
I didn't really start with dropshipping.
It was the first thing I ever like tried. I didn't have like success with it.
Yeah. But you transitioned into sales.
Yeah, it was drop shipping, and then it was flipping stuff on eBay from like TJ Maxx, like camouflage and just items I knew that were mispriced. That was in college, and then options and stock trading, like a lot of people, and then agency was the first thing. So I go to an agency, made like 100K with it, and it was like, this sucks. Like I hate this service delivery and whatnot, and then sales after that.
Well, that's why I tried to do agency first, and then I'm like, how am I supposed to commit? These people are like, yeah, this sounds good, but what are your results?
Exactly.
And after results.
So I didn't even know a thing like about anything. So I was like, I can't do this.
How did you convince them to like take you on but know the result?
That's why I realized I was good at sales, because I had a complete bullshit like story of like why they should work for me, why they should pay me. And I closed a lady to build a funnel in like 2020. This really nice old lady named Karen. I found her in the ClickFunnels Facebook group. I was just like in there looking for clients one day, and I ended up closing for 10 grand, like on my first big sales call, 10K, piff. And I was like, oh shit, might be good at this thing.
Wow. Yeah, I only did dropshipping just to like get results for the agency, and the dropshipping actually worked. I'm like, well, this is way better.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it's annoying, like trying to convince these people this is how it works, and getting approval for doing things, you know it's gonna work.
It sucked.
Yeah, my buddy Garrett's actually in your closer cartel.
Really?
Yeah,
Wait, what's the last name?
Kruger.
I think I've seen his name. Yeah, in Discord.
This is great.
What?
He says,
Close. I thought he nodded. I thought he knew Garrett.
"Oh,
You know? Yeah.
you know Garrett?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Diego.
He's at my apartment right now, actually.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow, that's cool.
he's definitely gonna be watching this.
Yeah, that's super cool. Well, shout out to whatever came and shout out to you, Garrett.
It's awesome. He's using it. He's using it. What he's learning for. I think he's selling like dental equipment, high-end dental equipment, and all that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I like what you made a post recently about how you've been picking up more and more hobbies lately. Like, what are your current hobby lists?
Oh, dude. Guns for sure. Like I'm kind of a sicko with the firearms. And like we train hardcore. Like the guns for sure. Fighting. Like I started fighting when I was down here in 2021, and I've been really consistent. I've got pretty good at that. Spearfishing, normal fishing, but I don't have a truck, so that's kind of hard to do here. It's normal stuff like working out.
Isn't it weird how abnormal it is to have hobbies now? See,
Bro, it's weird. And that's my whole like angle was like I wanted to, because like when you have a brand, you can stand for certain things. I was like, I need to encourage young men to like go be good at things. Like, why do you want to be like this dork that like makes money? But
right, exactly.
like, why not be a guy that can shoot and fight and run? And I started running this year. It's a hobby, I guess. It's that difficult. Yeah, I like to be like multifaceted. It makes you cool. Makes you a better person.
Yeah, I mean, it was more to life than just making money.
Yeah.
But when someone's whole life is revolved on money, I'm like, man, there's more to gain, bro. I see Twitter posts about that lately. They're like, why would I spend time doing this? No, some guy, this is gonna piss you off. Some guy, he tweeted, he was like, you went to the gym for 3 hours, and at the end of the day, it made you $0. What a
So
fool.
stupid. See, like my thought process is like, okay, make more money than that guy, but also be in really good shape and I able to beat his ass.
See, that's
You can do both.
when you can make more money than people saying that, you have like something to speak on.
Yes, and I do both. Like, don't be one dimensional. Like, be cool.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Because like I always look at like what Joe Rogan did. A lot of people when they say like get a lot of money, they're like you got invested. When someone asks what Joe Rogan did, the 250 million is like I didn't do anything with it. Doesn't really want to worry.
Like, he's cool. Yeah, the bow hunting and the fighting, the comedy club stuff. Like, he's very interesting. I think that's why the podcast did well, you know? And like people were like, oh, this is a very interesting guy. Yeah, just to work on the podcast.
It's very like relatable, and there's a lot of times. It's crazy how that guy can reach that level of wealth and be so relatable. Still.
Yeah. And he's insanely wealthy.
Even Elon, richest man, is pretty damn relatable.
Playing Diablo.
Playing Diablo and all this stuff. Some lady in my building was telling me he was like a threat to democracy and all this stuff. He's like, you gotta be kidding me.
He's cool. He's cool. I don't know how the Neuralink thing is going to go.
Well, see, like, if it was anyone else, I'm kind of going on the slide, but that kind of reminded me of the Mark of the Beast right there.
That's exactly what I was like getting at. Yeah. Like kind of sus.
And this podcast is also brought to you by AutoDS. AutoDS is one of the industry leaders in all dropshipping fulfillment tools, but they take it a whole lot of steps further. Not only can you get dropshipping time down to 2 to 3 business days, you also get so many more tools. Because AutoDS is one of the biggest dropshipping softwares in the world, they've implemented a product research tool that tracks all their analytics, all their orders, and then you can use that data to find your own winning products and see where the trends are going, or even use a product that you know is selling really well right now. They have a TikTok ad spy tool built in, so you can even look deep into the TikTok ad side of things for all your product research needs. And all of it is automated. Gone are the days where you need like a VA going around and fulfilling these orders for you. AutoDS, it is completely automated. Not even just the orders, but also the tracking updates and the returns. All of that is taken care of by them. They already have a lineup of 500 million products you can choose from. It sounds like a joke, but that's an actual truth. But I think what really makes them stand out is all their worldwide suppliers that they're connected to. Because most softwares are just like AliExpress and their own suppliers, but these guys are, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Costco, Target, Overstock, Lowe's, and so many more. AutoDS is truly the all-in-one tool you need for all your dropshipping needs. So if you'd like to test it out, go to the link in the description below. You'll get a special deal through my link. Whether you're brand new at dropshipping or an experienced dropshipper, definitely check these guys out. Now back to the podcast.
What do you think of artificial intelligence as a whole?
Oh man, I think it's like I've been using it a lot in marketing stuff. Yeah. I wrote an entire VSL with Claude, Had you used Claude yet?
Not yet, but my brother talks about it all the time.
So it's like a GPT, but it's specifically made for copy. So I'm not kidding you, dude. I've written at this point probably like 50 really good VSLs. Like we cracked paid earlier this summer. I was spending like 6 figures a month on ads, profitably. Not very profitably, but profitably.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And so I wrote a lot, and then I literally gave it a page of prompts. Took me 5 minutes, and it wrote an equal to, if not better than the VSL I had written. That's why, like, insane. So I think it's good, but I think at the same time, it will reach, is it AGI? When it's like conscious or whatever.
That's when they connected all the way to the internet, and then it's free reign.
Well, they already have that. The Willow chip that Google just did.
Yeah, I saw that. That's wild. The proof is multi-dimensional.
And that's what they tell you they have, which, like, we both know. If that's what they tell you they have other crazy shit.
Yeah.
So that's scary, because that Willow thing alone, I was reading like this week, it could literally solve any encryption possible. It's like Moore's law or something. I can't, like, the Shor formula, I think, like SHO. I remember that. It's like some crazy quantum computing like conundrum. It's like an impossible thing to solve, and it solved it in like 5 hours. And it's supposed to take it like trillions of years. And it solved it in 5 hours.
So with that logic, they could pretty much get into anything.
Yeah, because nothing can keep it out, because it will decrypt anything, like your bank, nuclear codes, like literally anything.
See, the more I see it, I'm like, AI, I think, is the anti-Christ.
And there's one that I know of from some connections of mine, but if I say it, I'll say it, and then you can edit it out, because this will probably get taken down.
Okay.
Dude, if that's what we know that they have,
Right.
scary.
I saw they had virtual reality, the 50s, I think.
Yeah.
Like way ahead of the time.
Yeah.
I think, like, imagine if they attacked the nuclear power plants and then attacked the electricity grid.
If I nuke everything at once, not nuke with like a nuke, but like, yeah, I could shut down every single, and even this year, like, I'm way schizo into the conspiracy stuff, like, being all his voice to it. Dude, like, we've been getting attacked all year, and they've been putting on the news like slightly, like the cyber attacks of our infrastructure, like the water infrastructure and power infrastructure. They've been saying it's China and whatnot.
Or even, like, what was the big Microsoft one that happened earlier this year?
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of that already happening, and that's like JV level stuff. Or it's like, not like, bro, if we can't keep that out, our whole everything could go down like that. Like, bro, those said tests. Right, they're probing for the big one.
Have you seen that movie? It was produced by Obama.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, what's that called?
Yeah, it's when the Teslas run into each other.
Leave the World Behind, I think.
I can't remember the name, but yeah, that was the most propaganda psyop bullshit that I've ever seen in my life.
Did you see the thing about the boat?
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the beach.
Well, did you see the thing about what was on the boat and all that?
No.
So on that boat, it was called the White Line, and the boat that ran into the Baltimore Bridge at the end. That was on the way to Sri Lanka with a White Line flag.
I remember how that just, like, I forgot about that until I mentioned it. That just got like swept under the news. It cost billions of dollars in damage. I remember.
Yeah, and somehow it's gonna take probably 30 years to rebuild. It's gonna take 30 years, like 200 billion, probably 190 billion to Ukraine, and
It's longer. Yeah, it's all longer. It's all bullshit, bro. It infuriates me. Like, I was in a bad mood a lot of this year just because I was so, like, watching what was happening. And I know, obviously, like, every money person ever is like, bro, just make money, don't worry. Okay, listen, dude, you can make as much money as you fucking want. If certain people which they already do run our world, but even more so, you can't do anything about it. Like, you're going to fight back with your couple $1 million, right? Like, you don't stand a chance. So I was, like, very upset watching this, knowing, like, what's happening. And it's horrifying. It's fucked. It's so fucked.
it's easy to get cynical when you know too much.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss.
That's sure. That's the unfortunate thing. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And a lot of people, that's funny people say, like, oh, just make money. It's like, well, if they attack the grid, your money is growth. You're bringing to show what it actually is, and it's just digital. It's on a screen.
Yeah, you're fucked. So, yeah, we could rant about that stuff for hours. Like, we go deep down rabbit hole.
Wow, I'm into it. I'm into it because when we're walking up here talking about how there's, like, demonic stuff in the hobby and all that.
That lobby is mad demonic. Like, you should just go over there and walk through the doors, bro. You will literally walk in, because I know you're like this. You're aware of this stuff as well. Yeah, I've seen you post about it. If you went in that lobby, you're like, there's some shit going on here.
What do you think? What do you think the thing behind all this is? Like, do you think is this possession happening? Is this
What do you mean by all this?
like all the demonic stuff in the music and the movies and everything? It's like cool to be demonic, right?
Well, I think demons are real.
Yeah, 100%.
Like I believe in God. I believe in Christ. I think demons are 100% unequivocally real. I think the UAP thing is demonic. I really do.
Oh, in New Jersey right now?
I think that's us. I think that's out. We have that tech for sure. Me and my friend Danny are like super into this. So there is this thing called free energy that is real. You know what free energy is?
Well, probably not what you're talking about.
You know Ashton Forbes?
No.
Okay, so you know the Malaysian Airlines flight that just vanished?
Yeah.
There's a real video. It's not fake. Like it's been forensically analyzed. Like it's 100% real. Of that same plane, it got leaked by somebody in the military. Okay, and it's in the military when they have video, it's like encrypted, and they have certain codes on the videos that you can't fake. Like you can't fake it because you have to have inside knowledge to fake the codes on the videos and whatnot. So someone leaked this. Like this was 2014, and they went to jail for it. There's a real thing, and the video got leaked, and now it's all over Twitter. You can pull it up. The same, I've seen these orbs off my balcony. Like we talk about this all the time. And then in Miami Beach, there was one literally 2 days ago. Did you see the video?
No.
Bro, there's this like just glowing orb that like flied between two buildings, apartment buildings. Like imagine this building to that building.
Yeah.
And this lady captured it on her iPhone. And it's not fake. And you can literally see the reflection on everything around it, which is hard to do with VFX.
Yeah.
It like bounces off the rails and stuff. The light does. We've seen those down here. Like I'm not schizo. I'm not crazy. I've 100% seen them.
Yeah.
So the Malaysian Airlines flight, which just happened to vanish, happened to have a black box and just disappear. Like
Right.
no plane ever disappears. Like it's impossible. Right. We have satellites everywhere. There's a real video of 3 orbs circling it, and it just fucking vanishes. The plane just disappears.
I haven't seen this video at all.
No, you gotta go down a rabbit hole. So basically, that is like the crazy, shocking part. But the real part is that's a technology called free energy that we 100% have, and we 100% feel is real. But if it got released, we would have no need for any fossil fuels, no solar, literally the entire industry of the world would be disrupted, and it would be basically democratized energy. So you couldn't profit off of it, and everyone would have the same like level playing.
So this is connected to like what Nikola Tesla was doing.
Exactly. Because the free energy, and I'll butcher this, but the free energy concept is basically everything has energy. Like this table, that sits like atoms moving. You can harness that energy, and to say that's how those things move. Like they don't propel. Like there's no propulsion. Like they're not heat or gasoline induced.
Yeah.
They're literally pulling themselves through gravity. So it's like if you go down that rabbit hole, gravity at time, like if you know the example if you take a sheet and you drop something in the sheet and it bends,
Yeah.
that's the same as gravity. Well, if you drop something and it pushes down that sheet, whatever is there is going to roll down to the middle. So that's how those things move, and it's free energy. It's free energy technology. We have the tech.
So what do you think those things are?
I think it's 2 things. I think there are some like off-world, real like. I don't think it's little biological ETs. I think it's demonic. Like I really do. And it does line up with the Bible as well. Like if you read scripture and you like really understand, a lot of it's metaphorical. But like for example, in Jersey, they captured. I saw the video yesterday. It was like the wheel within the wheel within the wheel within the wheel. You know what I'm talking about? In the Bible.
No. How do you?
So I think it's Ezekiel in the Bible sees a chariot of fire like in the sky. Like talks about, and it's a wheel and a wheel and a wheel and a wheel, just like circles all in each other moving around. Someone captured a video of the same thing to Jersey like this week. Days lives in Jersey, so like he's here, but his mom literally captured a video and sent it to him. Wow, like they got it on the security camera. So like I think it's real, but I think it's off-world, and then we have reverse engineered it because we've had it for like 100 years.
Oh, I see. Okay, so we technically created it.
Yes, we have that tech. Our government definitely has it, and I think it's a false flag. I think this whole Jersey thing is a
Project Looping.
That's exactly what it is. It's a complete false flag.
Yeah, I'm really deep into a lot of what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the free energy thing. Have you heard about how this one's gonna sound crazy, but have you heard about how Donald Trump could be a time traveler?
Yes.
Yeah, the bullet book from out Eric
1970.
Yeah. That is super wild. And then do you know the whole thing about Nikola Tesla, Donald Trump's uncle?
Yeah. When they raided his work and it just went missing, it was
Trump his uncle was head of that investigation.
Yeah. There's no coincidences in life, like the way this works. And like that Willow thing we mentioned, that proved that we're literally living in a false like reality.
Yeah.
Like it literally proves it mathematically, quantum, like it proves that we're in a false reality. So like if all these patterns keep happening, it's like you're playing a game and then there's just patterns throughout the whole game. Like, is that coincidence? No, it was like made. It was made to be that way.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude.
What do you think all this has in terms of connections with CERN?
That's a demonic place.
Yeah.
Very demonic. Have you seen the videos of like the rituals they do?
I haven't seen the rituals. I just know they have, who's the goddess of destruction up front?
I can't, I know what you're talking.
Creation and destruction. I forget what it's called, but it had that big monument.
Oh, it's Indian.
Yeah. Shiva. Yeah, they had that huge thing of Shiva. You know, a lot of people say it's like the aliens we're seeing aren't coming from like a different planet. They're coming from within this warp that they're opening over at CERN. And
That's exactly what, like, at least the people that I know that like know some stuff. And if like you watch Tucker Carlson,
yeah.
So Tucker said on several podcasts, they were asking, because he's obviously very read in on this, and it scared the shit out of me when this is where I got the whole spiritual idea. And everyone that's read in, always they lead to one ultimate place, is like, this is not a scientific thing, this is a spiritual thing. He said that he was so scared of what he found out, and he quit looking, and he won't even tell his wife.
Found out what?
That is spiritual in nature. So it sounds so crazy, like to say this on a podcast, people would be like, oh, these guys are nuts, like saying this part, talking about this. But the same concept of like the fallen angels, right? They came to earth, they were kicked out of heaven, they came to earth. What does the Bible say they did? They gave us technology, they taught us how to wage war, they taught us how to do all this awful stuff. They bred with humans, like giants were real. What was that?
It's these people above me. Well, it's real that I thought the building was falling down the their side.
But like the giants were real. Like, we've recovered skeletons. That's a known fact.
100%.
But like those aren't just human beings like that happen to be that big. So
Nephilim, right?
it's Nephilim, and that's literally the fallen angels. And angel again is like it's still a metaphorical word. Like, we say angel, but like angels in the deep or in the Bible are horrifyingly scary.
Yeah.
Like, that's why every time a human being in the Bible encountered an angel, they always said, "Do not be afraid." They're not like these beautiful like things we depict in art. They're like one angel. If you look up a biblically accurate angel, you'd be like, holy shit.
Right.
One of the angels in the Bible is literally just a ball of like 1,000 eyeballs.
Oh my God.
Just looking at you, like 1,000 eyes.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible describes them as. But our art depicts them as like these pretty beings, and
Yeah.
So like, if that's real, let's just say it's real. Even if you don't believe, you just give that as like the control in the equation. Like, what do you think these demons look like?
Right.
Like, they're not. It's like they're not good. And it's an interdimensional. Like, we live in different versions of reality. Like, we're in 3D, but like this has like been well known. There's different. What's it called? There's different. What's the word I'm looking for? Dimensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's different dimensions. So they're not coming from like Mars. They're just splitting between dimensions.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is. And that's back to your demon thing and why is everything so demonic. I think the demons are real. I think there is some connection between that and the demons, and I think they are waging a war for like our souls, pretty much. Like, yeah, it's like, what if that's just what they feed off of, or that's their like currency, or that's just that's their day harvesting? Yeah, everything's energy, like everything. That's undoubtable. And so like, why would it be such a crazy thought to believe that these things that gave us this crazy tech that the evil people that we both know run our world are like in cahoots with and connected to? Why would they not be like trying to put us up for grabs and infiltrate everything we see and hear and listen to?
Well, I know that like God can interfere with free will, but the demons can, because what is it called? God will never interfere with free will unless like the devil himself like interferes with it. So they got to do some predictive programming, or like economic thing. It's kind of what they do at 9/11, where they kept showing 9/11 before it happened.
Oh yeah, it's a karmic thing. So like, if I go do something really evil, that's why the celebrities will joke, like in the Hollywood or the Penn Files, they will openly like wear something, or they'll joke about it, or they'll say it out loud on like an interview, and they'll just laugh about it, like, oh, haha, we're eating kids. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's their karmic law, because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in Christ.
Like karmic law, does that mean they have to inform?
They're resolved of any karmic like bad things coming back to them, because their energy is real. That's a real thing. Like, if you do bad, it comes back to you.
Yeah.
But if they say it out loud beforehand, it resolves them. And that's exactly why.
Have you ever seen the full video of George Bush getting told about 9/11? Like, where they're having those kids say those words over and over again? Dude, that is super spooky.
Yeah, that's that was the big eye opener, was when I started learning about that. Because I almost went to the military. That was like my first goal and dream. I was like, I want to go, because bro, I'm from a small town. They indoctrinate and psyop all of us. Like we had recruiters at my high school like every day. Yeah, like every day. Like, hey, you would go be a Marine. Hey, you fight for your country. And a lot of guys did. And there's like guys that were older than me that went to school died. They died in Iraq or Afghanistan. So I was like radicalized. Because, bro, I didn't know what Islam was. I didn't know what Muslims were. Like, I didn't know they were nice people. I thought Muslim is terrorist and wants to kill me, that I need to go kill them. Right? I was fully convinced. And then that was like the saving. Thank God I didn't go, because my own like blown off or something. I'll be poor, mom would still be fucked. But like learning about 9/11 was the eye opener, where I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go die for this bullshit, because these people hate us. They completely hate us. They're manipulating everything. They don't like us. They want us dead. I'm not gonna go fight and die for that. Yeah, and that was the like eye opener, was 9/11. Yeah, so fake.
Yeah, super evil. Ezel, have you ever met anybody who's into Satanism?
No.
I met one person who has signed the creed with the blood, did the ritual and everything. And she was saying that she was living in Los Angeles at the time. It's crazy, but this is a real story. Living in Los Angeles at the time and dating a drummer of a famous band. She wouldn't tell me what band. And nothing was working out for her. She just moved there, and he was like, you should really try worshiping Lucifer, because once we signed this deal, like, our band took off. She was like, oh, okay. So she ended up doing it. And after she did it, within, she said, about a month time span, she was managing one of the, I'll tell you after who, but she was managing one of the biggest like internet groups in the world, and out of nowhere. And she says that like they all do it too. And you're gonna be surprised when I tell you after, because they all do it too. And she was saying, and this was the spookiest part, okay? So I didn't know, but I just knew her at this point for 6 months, and we were going up to the casino in Colorado, and we get there, and she started drinking and stuff. And I remember I talk about some crazy stuff a lot of times on dates. So I'm like, yeah, are you into like alternative religious history? And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. So, and I started rattling them off about like alternative, like where Jesus went during like the 22 years that he was missing or something like that. And I could tell she was like kind of getting like this, and I was like, oh, going on more. And she was like getting all squirmy. I'm like, is there something wrong? And she goes, yeah, I mean, like, I don't really like, me and God don't really have the best experience.
What a crazy thing to say.
Yeah. She goes, yeah, every time, I prayed for him for so long, and that's why I was growing up, and nothing ever worked out. But then like one day, and then she told me the story about how she got into worshiping the devil, and she goes, once I did that, everything started working out. And like, I never got into the whole Jesus sort of things. And she's like, hey, and do you know that song you were playing in the car? I played this song by Russ 3 times. Do you know Russ?
Yeah, he's an Earl. I used to bag Russ when I was watching your videos. All I was listening to was
Yeah. Do you know that song where he's like, I ain't gonna let the devil in, no, never. I ain't gonna let
Yeah.
So I played that 3 times because that song just came out. I'm like, damn, the song's good. And she goes, yeah, when you're playing that song in the car, what's weird is I don't remember a single word from the hook. I remember but when that hook was playing, like there was nothing happening. Like I literally couldn't remember it. And I know now that's something called like spiritual interference, where it was like getting in the way of her hearing that message. And it was like wild. And like, man, I'll tell you another additional story. This is super wild, because I believe like you kind of choose a side energetically of what you do. Like if you're doing more good, you're kind of going to be like on that team, and God can use you for certain things. So that night when we're coming home, I drop her off, and I just make this, before this. So she said 2 years before that, she got back from California, and mom couldn't look her in the eye because she's like, something's off with my daughter. And she said she went, have you been to Colorado before?
No.
So in Golden, there's this huge cross on the hill, all lit up at night. She goes, yeah, we went up there. We got out of our car. We were going to hike to the cross and then smoke near there. When I got out of my car, I looked in my bag, and I made sure I had a lighter. I'm like, okay, good, I have the lighter. She said she went up there with her friends. They started smoking. No. They got up near the cross, and they were about to smoke, and then she couldn't find the lighter anymore. She was like, what the hell? I just checked that this was on. All of a sudden, the fucking cross is on fire. I'm talking like this is like this cross,
Some of those big ones.
huge cross. So they run downstairs, they get in the car, and they leave. When she gets in the car, she looks in her purse, and the lighter was there the whole time. when I dropped her off that night, when she was running her house, I just made a joke. I'm like, hey, you forgot your phone. She's like, ha, 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 funny. It's right here. She goes inside. When I wake up the next morning, the phone's still in my car. Because that phone was still in my car, she didn't go and sell her soul or do the ritual again, which she was supposed to do that day.
Wow.
So I'm thinking, like, man, there's something there.
It's real. And, like, even that's what I don't understand is people like I'm not the best. I'm very sinful. I'm not the best. Like Christian. That's why I don't really vibe with like modern church. So I think it's bullshit. Like they don't teach scripture.
And possibly infiltrated.
Yeah, agreed. Like there's a church here that everyone goes to. That when you go there, do you think it is like a godly thing, or do you think it is more of a let's go sing songs in a concert and
Oh, it's one of
worry about us but not God?
yeah.
Right? So like that is like I don't fuck that.
It's like an EDM concert.
Yes, exactly. And I think the pastor has like a private jet and stuff.
Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of the.
Definitely wearing like Jordans.
But what I don't understand is like if that stuff is so, which 100% unequivocally that's real. Like, but the demonic stuff is scared to death of Christ.
Yeah.
And God. They're undoubtedly scared. Like you just said, like I've seen stuff like that happen a lot. If they're so scared of that, like how do people not believe that the other side is real? Because they believe it. They're scared to death. So like how would you not believe the other side is real? Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's because the whole like she sold her soul thing. Because yeah, you get worldly like pleasures. You get all this riches and stuff. But you're selling your soul in exchange. Like people don't realize this is all temporary. Yeah, like, this is not real. This is a temporary thing for an eternal like life. Yeah, like not to get all biblical people, but like that's real, bro. That sounds so real.
I wonder what, like, it's even hard, like, obviously we can never comprehend this with the minds that we have, but I wonder what the purpose of even wanting the soul is. It's like, is it just like a fight? Is it a spiritual warfare to like collect them until it's full domination, or what?
Well, there are old gods for sure. Read the Bible, you read anything. All of human history, they worship stuff like pagan gods and whatnot. I think there's a level of like this dimension thing that we can't comprehend. And I think like our God in Christ is a real figure, but I think there are also other figures that are in the same like how do you explain that? Like not pantheon in the Greek sense, but they're in the same like league. And I think there's like a battle there. I think we are the caught in between. That's what I kind of believe.
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by dropshipping.ai. That means this podcast is brought to you by myself. This is my website. This website is completely free for everybody. I don't want your money now or later. This is not some funnel. This is completely free. You get a free dropshipping store built by AI. You get free products chosen by AI, and you get a free course on how to use AI to dropship in the modern day era. AI has changed every industry. Everybody knows that, and dropshipping is not excluded. We have the most relevant, most powerful, most up-to-date information specifically tailored to dropshipping and AI fusion that we're seeing right now. And like I said before, this is completely free. I'm one of Shopify's top affiliates in the entire world. In fact, I was awarded top Shopify affiliate in North America, so they pay me to give you guys this for free. It's a beautiful cycle called the cycle of life. So if you want to support yourself and support this podcast and support me, go to dropshipping.ai, claim that store, claim those products, claim that course, and let's get back to the podcast.
I mean, if you break it down into the add-on is positive and negative energy right there. And I learned this recently on a broad, not the raw atom, but it's oh my God, it's one of the building blocks, but it has 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, and then 6 something else neutral. I shouldn't even spoke before I brought it up, but it goes 666, and they say like that's the original sin.
That's crazy. And there's like your DNA is literally shaped as a cross. A thing that connects everybody's DNA. It's called something.
Do you know about God's signature in the DNA?
What do you mean?
So in the DNA, not the, when the DNA twists and it has those lines, the lines, the space between the lines is called something. And the spacing goes 10, 5, 6, 5, I believe. 10, 5, 6, 5. And when you plug that into, what's the numerology Hebrew?
Like what's it called?
Yeah. The mantra or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
When you plug 10, 5, 6, 5, it spells it spells Yahweh, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
In your DNA.
The original language.
Yeah. And I might have to cut this part out, we'll see. But apparently, if a triple helix forms, which can be caused by that line will go 10, 5, 6, 6, 5.
Probably spells the opposite, doesn't it?
No, it just has 666 in it.
Oh, yeah.
It like takes away Yahweh puts it right.
Bro, like, it's not, I don't find those to be coincidences. I really
No, definitely not.
I really don't. And I really do not. And I think it's just crazy. Like, this is we got pushed on a different timeline, I think, in the last like 6 months, hardcore. Like, I felt the vibes.
Past 6 months. What do you mean?
Like just the events of the past 6 months. I am
Trump almost got.
well, yeah, but also like we're entering a new age, and like, I don't, super astrological stuff is demonic for sure. Like, you're not worshiping stars. Like, that is like demonic, literally, by definition. But there is a real sense of like, we live in this universe, and there are shifts that happen every so many years, and it affects the energy. Like, the moon literally makes our water move. Like, you don't think the stars and everything shifting doesn't how you affect when you. And we're entering it's the age of Aquarius. Is this big awakening thing. The last time this happened was when all of the revolutionary wars happened, right, and shifted our whole world. So that's happening. Trump got in, which I did not think was going to happen. Thought they were either going to kill him or they're going to rig it.
Yeah.
Which they did rig it in 2020 because there were 20 million votes missing that were unaccounted for. Like, anyone with half a brain, there was not 20 million liberals that just didn't happen to go vote at the biggest election of their life. You're telling me they just decided to not vote?
Yeah.
No, they fucking faked it in 2020.
And what the ironic thing is now the Democrats are saying, well, Trump cheated because like there's 10 million and they're killing on themselves.
Yeah. So, but I think we got shifted on like a new timeline. Like, you've probably read Reality Transurfing.
I'm reading it right now, actually.
So like the timelines and pendulums and everything. Like, there's an infinite number of timelines in reality that you can't even like comprehend.
Right.
But every choice you make puts you on your own individual timeline in a macro sense of the world. And I think we got put on a new one. And I think everything is speeding up fast, bro. You have this AI thing, the alien thing. Like, I think we are speeding up. And the good guys are winning, but that means that like it's going to get bad. Like, whenever the good guys win, the other side gets really upset. Yeah, really upset.
I mean, we see it every day, and I think 2020 was the biggest shift I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, bro, COVID was the most evil thing I've ever seen.
The world has never been the same since.
It hasn't. People are so, like, I walk down the street now, and I try to remember like what people were like then. I swear everyone was so much more social and nice. And now, like, I get in the elevator and no one even talks. Like, no one, like, everyone's scared to death to look at you in the eyes.
Here's a really good trick. So especially in these elevators, because there's a mirror, but most elevators have mirrors on the sides, and this is especially good. There's one up. Whenever I get on the elevator and someone else gets on, what do? They always pull out the phone, right? You don't have fucking service in the elevator. So it's so funny to look in the mirror and see what they're doing. And I'm telling you, dude, they'll do that. Slow go. And they'll just, like, I see them, like, click an app, no service, end an app, click an app. I saw some guy today, he just goes like this. He goes, like, dude, it's just like,
You're scared, bro. Like, people don't talk to each other anymore.
yeah.
And it shifted them, like you said. Like, it was such a different thing. I don't know if we'll recover. I mean, hopefully we do. Like, it's weird. Like, I don't like the current. I'm not a pessimist in this sense, but I don't like the way that currently the societal world works. No, I don't like it. People are not nice. It's hard to meet good people. It just has like this weird vibe, which that's what I'm saying is the vibe has shifted a bit. I think the good guys are winning, and I think we're on that new timeline, but it's weird, bro. This is mad weird.
And like any attractive girl, OnlyFans, I always bring this up. And that's one.
You gotta tell me on Miami. It's like a running joke between our friends. Like, we'll see a cute girl at the gym. Like, get her Instagram, 1 million followers, link in bio, ask for $5.
Always.
What's up, bro? It's a fucking shame.
Do you know facecheck.ie?
No.
It's this website. It has 950 million people registered in it through Google's database. But you can take a picture of someone and just put it in there, and it'll show them all their social medias, including OnlyFans.
Oh, that's a bad rate.
So my buddy would be out here and take a picture of like an attractive girl, like a creep from far away. And he's like, 9 out of 10, always, you just find their OnlyFans right away.
Oh, it's fucked. Like, Miami is not, like, I like Miami for what it is for me now, but Miami is a very dark place. It's also a very light place. There's very good things here. And if you, like, we have a great circle, it's very good energy, but there's also real darkness here. Yeah, real darkness. And I've seen it, like, fucking destroy people. Like, tear the house. Dude, just, like, honestly, the nightlife, but, like, the girls, it's so predatory. Everything is predatory in Miami. That's the thing. Like, the women are predatory. Like, they're not they're not looking for like you to be a nice man and like take care of them in like a nice sense. Like they want specifically either to hook up with you or your money or like clout or whatever. It's very hard to find like quality, genuine people. They're just like, oh, like you're awesome. Like I'd love to just hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Or like we'll invite girls on boats, which sounds like the most like bimbo thing ever. Like, oh yeah, let's invite girls on boats. But like that's what we do for fun because I don't go to the club. We go on yachts. It's fun. I listen to rock music, eat mushrooms, upgrade time pattern. Yeah, it's a blast in the sunshine. And probably 99% of girls, we probably invited hundreds of girls at this point because I've been here for like 3 years. I have not had one girl come on a boat that I can even think of that I could have an intelligent conversation with.
Yeah.
And you can say, like everyone listening to this will be like, oh, that's your fault, bro. You're talking to the wrong girls. Dog, I got a big sample size.
Yeah.
I had a very big sample size.
Yeah.
And it's fucked.
What do you think is doing it? Is it just because it's too easy?
Social media, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Like these, like there's a group of girls that runs around here. Like if you know, anyone listening to this knows who I'm talking. There's like a group that is always at the same parties, the same clubs, the same whatever, taking the same pictures, like posting the same thing. They're literally clones. It's like Star Wars, Clone Wars, and they're all right carbon copies of each other. Like there's no intelligent, like transient thought there. It's all just like whatever is controlling them. It's like as if they were all of the same hive mind. It's nuts.
Happy drag race?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, bro, the girls here do drugs and drink, and the only drug I do is mushrooms. I don't even think it's a drug because every time I do it, I'm like this with God. Like I feel it got sent. Like I don't do coke and all this bullshit. But they love it. Like that's what it's just so dark.
Yeah. But see, I wonder what the drive is behind it. It's 100% every time. Whenever I see a super attractive girl, it's always they're alcoholics, and usually the alcoholics come the cocaine.
Yep. And the SSRIs and
Yeah, exactly, and that's all right. But I wonder what it is with these super attractive girls that it's always that way, because I feel like if they're not as attractive, it could go either way. But the more attractive they are, it seems like
that is a good point. That's true. That's very true. I've seen that as well. I don't know what it is. You know what it is? I think actually, like I've talked about this with my friends before. I think the hotter a girl is, the more insecure she is. I really do, because she can be like gorgeous, but when they're gorgeous, what do they do all day? They're on their phone, taking pictures of themselves, being vain, comparing themselves to other models, other hot girls. Like I've dated a lot of like beautiful women down here, like models, like Wilhelmina models, Ford models, like beautiful girls, and like they're fucking batshit crazy. Yeah, like they're all mentally ill, bro. They're unwell. I don't know. I think it's just the comparison trap, and they don't. I don't know. Like I won't say they're mentally weak, but they just can't rationalize like what they're doing to themselves, and it becomes this negative spiral that like once you're on the SSRIs, bro, and you're on the Instagram all day, and all you care about is your image, like you're fucked, right? Like you don't recover from that very rarely.
I wonder what it would take to recover from that, because
Jesus,
yeah, and that's where it comes back. And what is Jesus? Is recognizing every person is a version of you. And so, like, if you're comparing yourself with another, get bad or good, that's a judgment. Like I always like that saying, a judgment upon another is a judgment upon yourself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those girls may be harshly judging others, inversely judging themselves.
Exactly. Spot on.
It's a weird thing. Where do you think? Like, do you see yourself living in Miami forever?
No.
Where is the spot that you see?
I don't know. I haven't traveled the U.S. a ton. Like I went to Utah. I've been to Cali once, and then like Ohio and Virginia Beach, like the beach towns in Florida. We would go vacation every 4 years or whatever. So I haven't really explored a lot, but I 1,000% I'm gonna make my money and go get a fucking ranch somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna build a family, and they're gonna grow up in nature, and they're not gonna have these stupid things.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, I'll have a house here, probably like South Florida is a good spot. Probably like Palm Beach or Jupiter or something.
Right.
I'll have a house here, but I will definitely go get a compound like middle of nowhere.
I could see Colorado.
Yeah.
Like you like Colorado.
We'll see. And that we're maybe we are. Oh, in January.
That's all right.
We'll see.
That's gonna be your first time.
Yeah, never been.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, because Colorado. I said this before. When you don't have seasons, like California, for example, your ego can swell, and you don't get humbled by nature.
That's so true.
No matter how many accomplishments you have, it doesn't fucking matter when it's negative 20 degrees outside and it's snowing. You know, you're nothing compared to nature.
Ohio used to get like really cold. Like I would miss like months of school at a time from snow. Oh, I mean in southern Ohio, yeah. Like I think it was 2018. I literally missed from January to March because of snow. I couldn't get off my road because we lived on this road like up in the hills, and like there's like a guardrail protecting you from falling off of like a cliff, basically. And they wouldn't plow our road because it's just in the middle of nowhere. Like they're not going to go waste state municipal dollar or county municipal dollars. I will not.
Yeah.
So I didn't go to school for like months at a time. Like it was freezing too.
Months is a crazy thing.
Like literally months. I vividly remember because it was January to March, and then track season starts in like April is when you start like track, and I pole vaulted. And I was pretty decent. Like I won regionals in Ohio. It was like my focus. I was like in love with it. I was like, this is my way out of Python was this before I learned about entrepreneurship.
Oh yeah.
So I was like hardcore. And I remember we got like feet of snow in March, like this crazy, they call it something like some Spanish name. They call it like, I don't remember. You're talking about like the stream. It's like El Nino or El Zavana. I don't know. It's some Midwest.
Sounds like a hurricane.
Yeah, well, it's like the jet stream or whatever.
Oh, I see.
So we got dumped on, and then literally a week later, it was 70 degrees, and the snow had melted, and I was on the track practicing, and I had not been to school for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah. But I missed that. Like I missed the winters. I used to run around outside in like negative, like 0 cold ass weather. Though Sherona was fine. Yeah, Florida turned me into a bitch, bro. It's 60 degrees here, and we're like freezing. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, you're a bitch now, bro. You used to like, bro, we were broke. So we would like fix cars in the snow. Like I have pictures of me working on cars. Like I would hit a deer or something and I would have to fix my car outside, right? Not in the garage. I was outside laying under my car, jacked up on jack stands in like inches of snow. And, like my hands freezing, trying to do wrenches and stuff. And now I'm like bitching about 60-degree weather.
It happens quick. That's why I noticed when I moved to California, I was like, ooh, it's a little chilly.
Yeah.
But when I went back to St. Louis, I would do these things, 45-minute walks every day, no matter the temperature, just shorts.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes it was like 17 degrees, and I made sure I didn't run, because if I ran, I could heat up my body.
Yeah.
But I got really into Wim Hof, and man, that is something else. Like, just like, I like seeing people's reactions too. When it's like downpour and snow and you just walk around in shorts. It's a good test of the mental strength, you know?
It is. Have you heard I heard somebody say this on Twitter once. They were like, every great philosopher, minus like Greece, but like most modern, like Dostoevsky, like Carl Jung, all these guys, they all come from cold weather.
Oh, really?
Because warm weather does not, it makes you soft. It makes your mind very comfortable. The cold is where like the greatest art, music, like Tchaikovsky, like real music, it all came from cold. Like Europe was cold. Yeah. Those people built Europe back when everyone else was running around like in bushes and stuff.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
But it does kind of like, when you get into the cold, it kind of shuts off all the bullshit. Because like when you put yourself in survival instant where you have to survive, it shuts off a lot and it gives you like that hyper focus, so to speak. When I was doing like a lot of cold plunging and stuff.
Oh, I hate cold plunges. That's one thing I don't do.
Yes, yeah, I hate them too, and I was trying to do them, but now I don't.
Let's see, I never got a benefit. Like I would do them, and like I guess the mental strength, but like I'm a sicko, bro. I can go do any mental thing and I'm fine. But like the cold plunge never helped me. It just pissed me off. Like, it never made me like mentally tougher. I was just like, why the fuck am I doing this?
Well, they say that if you enjoy doing the cold plunge and you do it as every day, then you don't get any benefit really, like mentally. But
it has to hurt to get the benefit, right?
It has to hurt, but you also don't have to do it. Like Andrew Huberman was talking about how if you get in and you don't want to do it and you still do it, it secretes this thing in your brain and makes it grow bigger.
Oh, they're going in this podcast.
Yeah. So it's like anytime you don't want to do something,
that muscle gets a little stronger.
Be a little stronger eventually. Because I would do them in the running water in Boulder all the time. I would take my bike down there.
I can like feel that.
It was crazy because like if my mind was racing, I get in, mind is going, essentially.
That's fucked. I fell in a creek once when I was in high school. I fell under the ice in a creek. I was at my girlfriend's house and we were sledding down this hill and I slid across the road because like where I'm from, the roads for whatever reason always have a creek beside them. It's just like a thing, I guess. And I literally slid onto the ice and it was covered in snow. I didn't know I was on the creek and I stood up and I fell. I was under the ice. It was only like 4 feet deep, but like I was under ice for higher.
Was the water running?
Yeah, but like not like I didn't drown. Like I like broke the ice. He crawled out. Like it wasn't like I'm trapped in like a lake.
How old were you?
Probably 15, 16. And I remember that feeling. Yeah, dude, I was like, I'm gonna die. Cause like her house was like up a hill, like to get to the house. And I got out and I was in full like overalls and snow clothes and I was like freezing. Wow. Couldn't move anything. That really shuts your brain off.
Is that the closest you come to dying, you think?
Oh no, like not like I've never been physically like maimed and like close to dying like physically, but I've been in some like sketchy situations.
Like what?
Like my dad held us at gunpoint a couple times.
What?
Yeah,
For what?
because he's a fucking psychopath.
Were you guys like planning on leaving or something?
Yeah, my mom was. The first time I was little, so I don't remember like the same way like if you were a teenager, like I was a little kid.
Yeah.
It was when we were in the trailers because my mom's told me about this a bunch. We had this black shotgun. I literally remember it was a 12 gauge, and my mom said that he was just being like crazy, and she was like trying to leave, and she had us like just got us out of a bath or something, like me and my brother, and said that my dad put a gun to her head, a shotgun. I was like, if you ever take them, like I'm gonna fucking kill all of you.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then some other crazy shit like when I was a teenager.
How'd you guys end up getting out of that situation?
He was there. I was like 13. I can't remember. Your brain, when you have a lot of traumatic shit, your brain shuts it off. What's weird is the last couple of years, bro, I'll be working and just get a random memory that I didn't know I had. It was like pop up in my brain. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know I remembered that. Right, crazy stuff. Because I think I'm like chill now. Like I've worked through all this craziness in my head. Like that's crazy shit when you're a little kid and you don't know any better. You're like, oh yeah, why the fuck is my dad torturing me? Like you don't know.
Right.
What was your question?
How did you get out of it?
Oh yeah. So I was like 13 or 12 or 14. I can't remember how old. It was like one of those ages. And we had a basement. It wasn't like an attached basement. You had to like walk outside to get to. It was like a cellar, basically, door. And we'd keep like tools and shit in there, like hillbilly stuff. And he asked me to get a tool and a socket for wrench, and I couldn't find the right one. And he just like started just like being crazy, like pinned me up against the wall. It was like choking me. And my mom heard it. My mom's a painting woman. She heard it because there was this like vent that there should have been like a ventilation thing to heat our house, but we had like no heating. So we had like this stupid little electric furnace in the kitchen upstairs. So it was just a vent, which was literally just a hole to the basement. So there was nothing like no duct attached to it. And she like knew what was happening, like mom sense, or just heard it or whatever. And she had already called the police, and I like slapped him or pushed him off me or something, and he was like shocked because I had never fought back before. I was a little kid, bro. What am I gonna do? This big ass like dude is right beating my ass. I'm not gonna fight back. But that was like one of the times when you start to get older, and you're like, I'm sick of this shit. Like I don't give a fuck. Like, kill me. I don't care. Like you get to that point. And so I hit him, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dead. Like I was like, I fucked up. I was like, he's gonna kill me now because I hit him back. And I ran upstairs. And I don't remember anything after that other than we somehow got through the I don't know if we ran through the woods or if my mom drove us to my papa's house right beside us. I can't recall how we got there. It's all like blurry, but the cops came and removed him, and yeah, they just took him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So when it comes to something like that, a lot of people would say like recommend therapy. What's your opinion on therapy?
Never been to therapy. Never been. I've been recommended to go to therapy.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's not healthy. And I this year I had some real mental problems in the sense of not like being a crazy person or anything, but like just battling shit in your head.
Oh yeah.
Like where everything's going good and for whatever reason you're just falling apart in your head. Like this was the first year where that happened because this all happened with my dad. I got through high school, single mom. I like had to be a man way too early. So I was working. I was like working construction. I was on the farm, like just trying to make money to pay for my stuff, help my mom, whatever. And then I went straight to college just with the goal in mind to get rich. I was like, I got to get rich because we're fucking broke. No one else is going to do anything about it. So like, I got to go make money. So I kind of just pushed everything to the side and it piled up. Like I never dealt with any of it. And I turned it into just fucking rage, bro. It was the same. Like you hear like Kobe and some of these guys talk about stuff and it's just like a very dark, like you're running off dark fuel. You're not running off good fuel. And it's good. It gets a lot of shit done. It made me a millionaire. It got me to here. It got us like my mom's taken care of now. But then this year it hit and it fucked me up for like a good 3 months. Like bad. Just out of the blue. Just fucked me up.
How did it hit? Like, you remember?
Dude, I told you I was quitting these.
Yeah.
I'm sure this played part in it, but I was quitting
You
nicotine.
can throw that over here.
I was quitting nicotine, and I got in the shower one day. I got off of a team meeting. I was fine. Like, everything was fucking fine. Like, I'm in my nice ass apartment. I got all this shit. Nothing bad was happening. Business was fine. I get in the apartment or in the shower off this team meeting, and dude, I like fell to the ground. Like felt like I got hit by a truck. Like, I didn't fall on purpose. I don't know what happened. I just like fell to the ground. And I had like this feeling of like someone was invading my mind. Like, I don't know how to explain it. That's what it was like. And I remember sitting in the shower and I'm looking at my arm and the shower, like, water's hitting me. And I'm not fucking with you, bro. I saw my arm like open up, like as if I was looking with my real eyes. I saw my arm open up and blood just started like going down the drain. And I was like, holy fuck, this is like bad, like really bad. And my heart's pounding. I just feel like impending doom. I don't know how to explain it.
Is that actually happening, or is he like,
Oh no, I didn't cut my arm open, but like I saw it.
I see.
Like I was sitting here like this. I hadn't done anything and I saw it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God, this is like fucked. And then I just had thoughts of like jump off your balcony, or like I have guns all over my house, like shoot you in the face. Yeah, shoot yourself in the face. Like crazy. I've never had thoughts like that ever. And it was all of a sudden. And so going back to God, I have this on video too. This is some crazy shit. I go in my living room, I turn my camera on because I'm like, I need like somebody to watch me because I feel like not good. They made me feel better. I was like, I need something to watch me. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like praying and I'm like thinking. I swear to you, bro, I have them on camera. This I live on like really high floor of that big ass tower. It's windy as shit all the time. So like birds can't even fly up there. They get blown away. This giant blue butterfly lands on my window and just like looks at me. I swear to God, I have it on camera.
Wow.
And I'm praying, and I was like, God, I don't know what's happening. Like I'm just like keeping myself calm. Like I'm fine, but like I don't know what's happening. Like this is kind of fucking, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, see crazy shit, and then it happens, and I chill out, and then that little whatever that was fine. Kind of this big ass butterfly just lays on my window, and then I'm like, okay, that's God. It's a sign, because I'm praying, and then I've never seen a butterfly in Miami even. Like, how's this big ass butterfly in my window? Like, it's just such a random thing.
Yeah.
And it was big, dude. It was like this thick, like a bright blue black butterfly. I don't even know if we have those here. And then the next 2 months were just like kind of a trickle effect of that. Nothing as bad. That was like the worst thing ever. But unprompted, just came out of nowhere, just hit me like a ton of bricks. So like, no, I did go to therapy, and I kind of used that shit as like fuel. And it also kind of, I've been a very like, I don't know if the word's penny. I felt like a demon was like invading my mind. That's exactly what it was. Because it was not my thoughts. I know what my thoughts are. Yeah, a very good control of not my thoughts. And it was just like bombard. And I was like, try to push it out. I literally felt like it was an attack. But anyway, that cut out. That whole running on like dark energy thing has also made me like have a really big chip on my shoulder. And I've learned, like I've grown up a lot coming here. Like, bro, I came from Piketon, Ohio to Miami. I didn't know shit. I didn't know how to go out. I didn't know how to be social in the same sense. Like this was like I went to Mars. Completely different. Like dead serious. So I've burnt a lot of relationships because I've been so hard on people because of that, because of the trauma stuff, or because of like just like a chip on your shoulder. Not being a dick to people, but like if someone does one small thing, just like I would rather not even talk to that person or have a relationship. Like the slight, like things that are way over dramatic, it's just a response from that. So I had to learn like how to not do that, how to be more calm, how to be more empathetic with people. That's a big one. I really lack empathy because I've just done so much crazy shit and gone through so much shit. Yeah. When I hear other people's problems, I compare problems, and I'm like, you're being a pussy. Like, what are you talking about? And so it's hard to be empathetic, which is not a good trait to have. You need to be very like understanding of people. But yeah, bro, a lot of crazy shit like that, and it fucked me up this year. But I've been great since like September, August. Been wonderful. Honestly, better than ever. Feel great.
When did that stuff happen to you?
July.
Okay.
And also, I had a best friend die. So my childhood best friend, I get a call 2 days before the 4th of July, before we did a boat. I get a call. He wrecked a motorcycle and died.
Man.
Like broke his neck or something. And I hadn't seen him in years because like he went to military. So I hadn't seen him forever, but that still sucked. And I was like, well, fuck. I've never been I've never been emotional when people die, just because I'm not a very emotional person, and like I get mad and stuff, but I'm not emotional in the sense of like bad things happen and I fall apart. Because I just feel kind of numb about it. So that happened. Then we did the boat, and then I got like fucked up on that boat. I brought a bottle of whiskey because he liked whiskey and he was in the military. And it was 4th of July, and he was in the army. So I just played like Toby Keith on the fucking aux and like stayed like sad Stain songs for like 4 hours and just drank this bottle of whiskey. So I think that coupled with a little bit of business stress, with getting off of this at the same time, which I had never gotten off of something that I was like pretty addicted to, never dealt with that. I think that just compounded with all the crazy shit, never dealing with it, never sitting with it, just full speed ahead, use it. It's fuel, go, 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 be mad, like make money, get shit done. It just hit me, bro. I was like, fuck, sucks. Okay, good now.
The vision thing is crazy. I never heard of that before.
Dude, it was like, I've never hallucinated on mushrooms. Like I'll see wavy stuff, but like I hear some people talk about like, oh, I saw like a unicorn. No, you fucking did. Or at least I'd never seen that. But I'm not kidding you. Like it was this arm, and it was as if it had just like split open, and blood was just like going down my drain.
That's why.
Like I saw it with my face, and I was like, this is not good.
Well, I'll tell you a story then. That did happen to me. I was with someone you know. I don't know if he wants me to mention his name.
Yeah, a little too.
Or I prefer. Someone you know was over, and I asked him, when he was at my Colorado house, I'm like, what's the closest thing to evil that you've ever experienced before? And he said a name. Again, I can't say the name because you know that person for sure too.
Oh God.
And when he said this name, I saw this figure fly through the window. Like physically saw this figure fly through the window. It had horns. It had something on its stomach, and it was all black. I remember. And when it came through the window, I felt it in my stomach. Oh my God, I could feel that evil when you say it in my stomach. Then he started telling me the reasons why he felt this. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening? He keeps going on and on. My stomach swelled up to like a basketball. What? When this happened. I was like, what the fuck, you? And so what was crazy about that is it like latched on to every single thought I had. Like if I thought about, someone important to me, oh, they're going to die soon. If I thought about a business, it's going to fail.
That sounds so similar.
Yeah, that's why I was like, when you're saying that. And then you bring up the thing about the death and stuff. That was the intense part, right? And then it went away. But the next like few months, it started trickling where I'd be walking and I'd see like a balcony and you'd be like, oh, that's where someone could hang themselves right there. Or like,
That's the same exact shit. It was just coming in my
I'm in front of this car right now. It was like super weird. And I think you tweeted about it. And did you say that you had like a number of people have this?
Dude, and I won't say their names out of respect, but it was like the biggest entrepreneur, personal brain guys that we all know, like that everybody knows. They're like good friends of mine. Around the exact same time, like, because I tweeted that because I was just like, bro, I bet other people are dealing with this. I'm gonna just like share it, whatever. I never share shit, so I'm like, this is therapy. I'm gonna tweet it,
Right.
and I was like, whatever. And then I got so many texts, bro, from people that I know are super mentally solid and that I respect a lot, and they were like, bro, like the same thing just happened to me, or like, bro, I just fucking broke down, bawling my eyes out for no reason, or like I'm just like tweaking out around the same time, July, around the same exact time, which is mad weird, so weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Mine was that winter. Like everything you were saying exactly happened to me.
That's so weird. I think it's this demonic shit. And as soon as I prayed, it went away.
So I'll bring that back. So that figure I saw, I thought it was this. I looked up other ancient figures. I couldn't figure it out. But remember, I said it had like something that looked like a Chinese symbol on its premise. Well, when me and that person were in Scottsdale, we were watching a documentary, and the figure I saw popped up on the screen, and there was Baphomet.
Oh, yeah.
There was that exact thing. And I didn't even, the reason I know it's real is I didn't even know who that was until I saw that documentary. But I saw it before I even like knew what it was.
Bro, that's so fucked. I hope that never happens again because that was like bad. Yeah, like I think this stuff's real. I don't know what to do about it other than pray. I mean, that's the one redeeming, like we can talk about this evil shit all day, but if you actually believe in what scripture says and you believe in Christ, and even just like studying history of like the real, not the modern Christian version of Christ, but like real stuff, they can't fuck with us. But they can't. Like if you believe in God, you believe in Christ, you actually believe in these things like with your heart, full-heartedly. You're not just like trying to look cool for people on Instagram, whatever. Like they literally can't get you. They can't touch you.
So when it comes to possession, like who are those types of people that they can get?
It's their fault. If you get possessed, it's your fault. Like if you are dabbling in the wrong things, you're opening yourself up. Cause I've listened to a lot of, like, I get bored and watch podcasts about random shit, bro. Aliens, possession. I watched it was a priest that had done exorcisms on the Sean Ryan show. And I was watching it, and he was basically saying that people will open themselves up in various ways. It's like, I think sex is one of them. If you sleep with a girl that is like you're not supposed to be, and she's just got bad energy, she's got like some demons of her own. That's like a spiritual opening up of yourself. Like you're basically taking your armor off. Like the Bible's talking about the armor, put on the armor of God. I think it's not wordplay. I think it's like literal. Like when you go do these things that you aren't supposed to be doing, you're taking that armor off, and then you're exposed. And if anything that we said about the whole soul thing being valuable, or the energy thing being valuable, then I mean that's the prize. Like as soon as that armor's off, they're like, go get that one.
That makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
The Bible literally says, put on the whole armor of God. And then it also says that like they can't mess with you. Like if you are walking with God, they cannot touch you.
I'm glad I stopped talking to that girl then.
Yeah. That. I mean, you can try to bring her to like the right side and to the light and speak to her, but can't be doing stuff with people like that. Like even myself, like I need to be better about this. Like these girls I'm here are gonna fucking make my soul.
Okay, but so do you think that the whole purpose of the demonic like symbolism and music and like what we saw in the lobby and everything is the purpose of opening people up?
Oh yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Why else would it be in your music, what you hear every day, what you see every day? It's because it's your consumption, and you are what you consume. You are what you see, you are what you think. So if you're consuming negative things, you see negative things, then you think negative things. And then when you think negative things, you become negative things. If that's all 100% real.
You attract to your things.
And then you're a target. And then you're basically, hey, armor's off, I'm open, like, come get me.
Yeah. I've always thought about that because it's like if you're in the middle, if you're in between good and bad, you're kind of indifferent. I don't think like that type of energy will fuck with you. But I think if you're on the extreme ends of either side, that then you become more of a threat to the other side, if that makes sense.
No, it is. I saw Mike Tyson say at the podcast, he was like, if you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And the way he said it was hard because Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, it's real, dude. It's so real. So yeah.
It's even crazy. You become a target. You want to hear a crazy theory of mine?
Yeah.
This is my theory on AI is the Antichrist. Okay.
To get behind the.
Okay. So like, in the Bible talks about how AI is going to come to be like the savior, right? A false savior essentially, where it's going to like solve all these problems or whatever.
Probably eternal life. But it's probably the problem it solves is probably death. Oh, that's good. But that's because this is temporary. Like if you value your eternal life, you don't value God. You don't value what you're supposed to get. So like that's what I guess it is.
That makes sense.
You can live forever because of this technology. Just put this thing in your brain, you'll live forever.
That makes sense. So like I've always been fascinated with the atom because I feel like no one's been able to get into the atom. Like if they split an atom, destruction. As if God's saying like, don't mess with this. Like it's a fail-safe to not get in the atom. Because I think if you get into the atom, it's kind of like getting into the coding of a software where if you get into the code, you can see everything all at once, right? And we all know God to be omnipresent everywhere all at once. So my whole theory on, and this has taken like a year of like thinking about it essentially, is like, okay, they tried to get into the atom, but this didn't work. In 2009, they tried to get into the atom by colliding them at CERN. Still didn't work. They're trying to find the God particle, right? Well, I think by getting into the code of the atom, you can become omnipresent because you get into the code of the universe, therefore transcending into a fourth dimensional being. So what if, okay, you brought up how the supercomputer proved, or maybe not, it talked about, I know in the book Enoch, it talks about 12 heavens. And I know that's the dimensions. That's literally what quantum physics said. I guess there's 12. And Einstein, I think it was Einstein or something said we couldn't operate the way we did unless there's at least 12. So let's say, for the sake of this argument, there is 12, and God's at the very top. Fourth dimensions, angels, 5, go on like that. But what if the spiritual warfare that's going on here is getting into the next dimension by becoming a fourth dimensional being? And the way to do that is through the code of the atom. So right now, we are building these computers. Humans have been obsessed with computers. Nobody knows why, but we're obsessed with innovation. But what if it's just like this spiritual trickery to try to get us to develop a computer to create something, artificial intelligence, and then translate it to AGI? Because right now we're doing quantum computing, right? That
which is like a crazy rabbit hole.
crazy.
Dude, even that one chip, the Willow chip, which is like this big, I think. Like I watched the whole thing on how that's even possible. And the problem in the past that they couldn't do it is you have to align atoms in a super like rigid geometrical structure, or every time that you try to compute a problem, it breaks. But now they figured out how to set it into that structure. You're literally, Dave, I wish my friend Danny was here. You would love Danny. He's like a nerd about this. He explained to me basically that in that chip, the reason it works is it's literally pulling basically like, I don't know if you, it's not dark matter, it's not like time space, but it's like this, it's the pre-energy thing. It's like computing things from the ether. Like that's exactly.
Does it have to do how it's coded on qubits?
Yeah, it's the qubits, and it's literally the original or the like lining up of atoms and qubits and into this free energy, free space thing. Like we should not be able to do that. Like if that's the point.
I see.
So what you're saying, I fully like. I agree. Right. I think that's what the play is. So 100%.
So right here, we got it in AI, but if we're talking about quantum computing, which is like, what do they say, 15 million or 15 billion times faster than our normal
Paul, dude, it's like a septillion.
septillion, okay? So after quantum computing comes atomic computing, where you're actually coding within the atom. So if you're coding on atoms, you're coding into the code of the universe right there. So if there's artificial intelligence that we're creating, let's say it is demonic and it actually has this thing and it's trying to break through, what it's doing is trying to break through. It's in the third dimension right now, but the way to get to the fourth dimension is by becoming omnipresent. To become omnipresent is to be everywhere all at once. And if you look at the dimensional trend, if you're in the third dimension looking at the second dimension, you can see all the second dimension. If you're in the second dimension looking at the first dimension, you can see all the first dimension. But if you get to the fourth dimension, you can then look into the third dimension and see all the third dimension. And the only way to do that, I think, is by getting into the code of the universe. So it seems like if this is an evil thing, it's progressing up the dimensional ladder to try to get to God himself.
That's what the Bible says. You know why Satan like revolted against God?
What, because the rules?
No, he was jealous that God could create. It's literally the cause of the whole. If you like, the Bible is a metaphor in a lot of sense, but he was jealous of the fact that God valued us over them, and also that he had creation, the ability to create. Satan does not. Like all Satan again, I don't like people picture Satan as this like little red horn dude running around. It's not Satan. Satan is like a beautiful thing. Like Lucifer means light, right?
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful. That's why it fucks with you, it tricks you. That's why the angel, you're so ugly, because it's false beauty. It's like it's a lie. But that's literally I fully agree. I've thought this before. They whatever. I think the goal of that is they're probably working through us. This sounds so schizo, but I fully believe this. They're probably working through us. The whole fallen angel thing, giving us tech, giving us this crazy technology we have now.
Yeah.
They're probably working through us to benefit themselves, to get our souls, and to build AGI and be able to create themselves into life, right? Because they don't have life. They're like these low level, like they're in hell. Yeah, and hell is a metaphor, but they're in this like evil, awful place. They want to be where we're at, and they're jealous that we're God's like chosen. Yeah, like that's why they want to fuck with us. So you said that very well. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, good.
Perfect sense. It makes total sense because like that's what they're empty of, is the ability to create and be pure and be in this like flesh.
Yeah, I mean, spiritual warfare, I think, is all about getting into the other like that. And the fourth dimension, I'm sure we can comprehend. But I've always thought this. I feel like the whole goal of this dimension is just be more good than bad, because every religion talks about the weight of the soul at the end, be more good than bad. And then if we do ascend, I don't personally believe it's just heaven for eternity. I think we ascend and then there's something we have to do there. Then we could level up until we're one with God all the way up.
I think heaven's a metaphor. Like people think of heaven as like, oh, I go to this place in the sky and I live there forever.
Yeah.
That's not what heaven is. Heaven is consciousness. I mean, it's an elevation of consciousness.
Do you think we could have heaven on earth then?
No, it's the opposite of the point. The point is for this not to be, because that is good. This is bad. This is known to be bad.
Yeah.
We'll never have good here. Like earth will never be good. There will never be peace on earth. It is literally an impossibility. That's the point. And this is where people fuck up, is they value this life and this. That's why the evil people are so evil, is because they know what happens when they die. They're fucked.
Yeah.
That's why. Why do you think they do all this child sacrifice? I mean, it's just for personal pleasure, like a little bit of it, like the Diddy thing and all that. Yeah, it's like because you're evil and it's personal pleasure, you're fucked up in the head. But in reality, it's because like you're trying to get as much as you can from this life because you're fucked, and they know they're fucked. Like they 100% know. Like all these evil people, bro. Like you think Klaus Schwab and all these guys, you think they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to die because I have eternal life. Absolutely not. They want to get as much control and power and squeeze what they can from this because they know that they're fucked.
Now, when you say they know they're fucked, do you think that they are doing this for a purpose so when they die, they're not as fucked?
I think that they just have the wrong idea. Like I think they're just mistaken. You're very sadly mistaken, guys. Like you're fighting the wrong battle and you're gonna lose and you can't do anything about it. But I think it's that demonic like getting in your. It's like a little parasite gets in your head. It's like, oh, worldly pleasures, worldly this, worldly that. Get this power, like do this. But I think again, it benefits that other spiritual side, which is they want our soul. So like they are basically the middleman. Like people think these Hollywood people are evil. They are evil, but they're the puppets. There are people who don't understand. They're like, oh, we're the puppets. No. They're the puppets. Like your Diddy and your Epstein and you're like all these evil, like Jennifer Lopez, all these evil people. They're the puppets. They're like, you should feel horrible for those people. They're being manipulated by this evil energy, this evil side to do their bidding. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for the, why would a human being want to do that for themselves? There's no benefit. You don't gain anything. Like everything in life is a game, even in spiritual realm. Like you're losing or you're winning or you're gaining or you're at a disadvantage of something in there. I think they're the middlemen. They're the puppets. They're getting controlled. Like little parasites are in their brain. This little evil voice is whispering to them, you can have this, you can have that. Like the girl, you can have all these things. But what they don't realize is they're giving up their soul. And you only get one of those, right? Once that's gone, you're fucked. I think it's exactly what the game is. I think this is the whole, whatever conspiracy you talk about. I think this is the whole game. Is like, can we get them to give up their souls and like laugh at God?
And do you think you can give up their soul without them even realizing it?
Oh yeah.
So then what would be the purpose of actually like signing the papers and doing like what
You just want to go wholeheartedly. You know? It's like if someone slowly gets addicted to drugs or if you just shoot up all of a sudden, it's the same thing. You're still doing it, just one takes a longer process. Or one could be unintentional. Like if you're aware of God's presence and you're aware of God and you choose to spit in the face of God, you're making it. There's no, I always say this analogy, like when we're teaching stuff, there is no neutral move in life. Like in chess, there's no neutral move. It's either good or bad. It's either positive for you or it's negative for you. There's no such thing as like staying in the middle. It's like entropy in physics. You can't stay the same. You lose energy, you lose energy to heat, all these things, right? Like things are always in motion. They can't stay the same. So like if you don't willingly go choose to be evil, but you're also not choosing the right thing, you're essentially choosing the wrong thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because, wow, this girl I know, she told me 2 days ago, she goes to one of those churches where they're jumping up and down. It's like an EBM concert. And she was saying that the sermon today was talking about how there is no such thing as good or bad. There just is. Isn't that nuts to be teaching at a church? Demons. I mean, even if you look at the Vatican has some spooky
The
stuff.
Vatican is, I have a opinion on the Vatican.
Oh, what's your opinion?
I think the Vatican is fully satanic.
I mean,
Fully.
you look at where the Pope sits, and he has a damn.
You know why? It's the karmic law. I saw the statues. They put the statues there. It's karmic law. It's in your face. But then people will like always play ignorant, like, oh, that's not what it means. They could put a little kid getting eaten, like in a picture, and put it there, and people would be like, oh, it's just an artistic representation. No, it's not. They'll tell you exactly what the fuck is going on.
That's what Epstein had. Epstein had tons of those photos.
Yeah, the George Bush with paid for airplay.
With the favorite Bill
Oh, it's just artistic representation. Yo, it's karmic law. It's a joke. It's a joke inside their club, and you ain't in that club.
Yeah.
So I think the Vatican owns more real estate than any organization on earth. You know that?
Even one in Black Rock.
Yeah. Right, Catholic Church. They own more real estate and have a larger GDP than any country on earth.
Larger GDP?
Yep.
Really?
Some is closed because it's that church.
Yeah.
Then we taxed. It's a church.
Yeah.
They get to move under the guise of God.
Yeah.
It's complete bullshit.
What do you think's in the the temple. I mean, not the temple, the library.
I don't know.
I'll tell you something that's in the library.
What?
My business partner knows somebody who knows one of the old red cardinals there. Might have to cut this out. We'll see.
It sounds about right, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
They're like, even if you study history and not religion, like those are not good organizations. Yeah, those churches killed more people than fucking anybody in their crusades and whatnot, you know.
Killing in the name of God.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's why I like have known a couple Catholic people, and I'm like, your religion is complete bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's what I believe. And they'll tell them this, and I'm like, you know what? That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't add up from a story, from a historical perspective. Like, even Judaism does not acknowledge Catholicism. Judaism was first, and they were basically fucking around, and God was like, okay, if you want to not listen to me, this is going to happen. So he sends Christ to put the Pharisees in place, and then Christ comes into Christianity, and then 500 years later, Islam comes to be a thing. And I love my Muslim brothers. I think it's a much better way to live their life than like modern Christianity here, for sure. I will say that, but I still believe Christ is who he says he is, and they believe in Christ. Jews don't. Jews have Christ is burning in piss in hell. Sadly, what the book says. Yeah. But like, where's Catholicism in that major religion formation? It's not. It was made. Catholicism was literally made up by people in the medieval times. That were like, oh, we need a way to control people and not get taxed. How do we do this? Oh, God told me to tell you. Yeah, bullshit.
Have you seen Heretic? No, it just came out. It talks. This is the whole movie talks about this. You would really.
Oh, good, because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take a smart person to look at, like, I don't want to follow a religion that is made by man, because man is flawed, man is sinful, man will never be perfect. That's the point.
Right.
The point of Christianity is this is a pure, sinless person that you can follow. Like, even Islam, and I'm going to get crucified for this. If we're crucified, that is like bits. I'm going to get crucified for this, but like, it's my actual opinion. Like, okay, Muhammad is the prophet of Islam, very respected. They idolize Muhammad, right? Muhammad married an 8-year-old girl.
Right.
Muhammad had concubines, hundreds of concubines, killed people, waged war, killed innocent people in the name of Allah. That is not the kind of person that I want to follow and model my life after. If we all model our life after that, or after Catholicism, even Judaism, does that create good in the world or bad? Bad. Like, unequivocally, whether you are of one denomination or not, that creates bad. But if you follow the teachings of the Bible, there is literally no bad. Right. That, like, and people will twist scripture like Leviticus, like, oh, you should kill gay people. It doesn't say that. It literally does not say to kill anybody, unless murder in a Hebrew word, like, everyone's like, oh, you can't kill people. Yes, you can. If you are right to do so, you can kill people. Murder was not the same word as killing people in Hebrew. I had a Hebrew, he was Jewish, I had a Hebrew professor, one of the classes I went to at college, and we would literally read the Hebrew Bible and then read the Quran in Arabic, because he knew both. So we would really blind translate. So the word, like the commandment, thou shalt not kill, is technically thou shalt not murder, because it was translated read Latin and into English.
Yeah.
But murder and kill are two different words in Hebrew. So like, little things like that people can twist. But like, if you follow that book, there is no bad. Like, that is not an opinion. That is a legitimate fact. And you can't say that about any other ones.
Right now, Snapchat is allowing me to offer you a special deal where if you spend $350 in ads, you're going to get $375 in ad credits. Snapchat's often one of the most overlooked advertising platforms there is, but it's also one of the largest. So if you have ads running on other platforms that are already working, take advantage of this deal just to see what would happen if you took it over to Snapchat, because Snapchat is a whole different audience, and the average Snapchat user opens it 40 times a day. I know a lot of you watching right now open it maybe 60 times a day. So you might as well go ahead and try this out, because you would be surprised how well this works and how many businesses this has really, really scaled up for.
What was up with Leviticus? Because it seems like he's responsible for like so many things.
Well, Leviticus is like, in the book in the Bible, they talk about like, you should not lay with a man. And, you know, you should not sleep with a man.
And tattoos and all that.
Yeah, and tattoos. But even
It's hardcore.
Even tattoos, though, is like you can have tattoos and be a Christian. Like, people, and this is where you get, again, and this is my point, man-made religion is one thing. Like, these southern churches that, like, I went to, like, when I was a little kid, they would say stuff that, like, you're not pulling from scripture. You're saying your opinion. Right. It's not the book. Like, I only want to listen to the book because you're flawed. you're a person, you're a human being, you're fucking flawed, you're very sinful. We should not ever listen to man. We should only listen to God, only to God, only to the word of God.
In Boulder, there's a cult called the 12 Tribesmen, I think is what they're called. The 12 Tribes. They own all the yellow delis, if you've ever heard of that. It's like 40 restaurants, but there's only like 2,200 of them. They take it a step further. They only believe the word of God, Jesus. Everything else they just throw out. It's like whatever Jesus said, that's what we follow.
Yeah.
Any of these like disciples.
I mean, that is technically like if you're a Christian, that's the separation between Judaism and Christianity before the fake Jews came into play and then had the Talmud and stuff. But like it was Old Testament. That was like Jesus was Jew.
Yeah.
So like the Old Testament, but then it separated to the New Testament with Christ's teachings because they weren't following the Old Testament.
Nice.
Like the Pharisees were not following what they're supposed to do. They were pulling the Catholic move of like, oh yeah, let's use this religion to accrue wealth and money for ourselves. Basically say fuck you to the average poor person.
Yeah.
And let's get in cahoots with the Romans and kill our own people. And then Christ came and flipped their tables over, whipped them, slapped them in the face, was like, right, yeah, that's not what happened.
Right. Imagine going back in time to that time. Yeah, have you heard of the chronovisor at all? Chronovisor. They say that's in the Vatican library too. It was developed by this physicist in 1974. He was one of the Red Cardinals. And they banished him from the church for this. Apparently, he developed this technology that allowed you to look back through time for the electromagnetic residue. And he took photos and stuff like this through the thing. And after like 2 years of him having it, the Pope banished him and banished the chronovisor.
I have to look it up.
The library. Yeah, there's a big documentary.
I mean, if you believe the science, like technically that should be possible.
Yeah.
Like this is the part we can't comprehend, which I love learning about, is like nothing is linear. Like none of this is linear. So technically, in theory, everything's happening at the same time, which we can't even wrap our head around. Because like, how could we be having this conversation, but at the same time, the 1800s is happening right now?
Right. Well, it's just like what we were talking about before. I mean, if time and space is fourth dimensional, if you're a fifth dimensional being, you can look down into the fourth dimension as we can to the second dimension right now, so they can see it. I mean, the ending of Interstellar proved that.
That was crazy.
You know, he was looking back in all the timelines, and you can actually look in it. You can't comprehend how we see it.
Scientifically, it's possible.
Scientifically, it's possible. And if you think about it, if we're on movie reel and we're on this frame, you can just extend the movie reel and see the whole frame all at once. That's basically what the fourth and fifth dimension.
Which is nuts to think about, dude. Like, it's so crazy. Have you seen the Shroud of Turin?
No.
So this is, it's been studied a lot, and they can't figure out how they did it. So it's supposedly the shroud that they laid over Jesus when also you're supposed.
Yeah.
And his face is. This is the thing. It's not a blood stain. His face is imprinted into the shroud. His whole you can literally see his hands pierced.
Yeah.
In the shroud. And a lot of people tried to refute it, but like
It's proved it's real, right?
yeah, they literally cannot prove how they made it, because the only way that cloth, it was like organic, like linen fibers, and it's like they made the cloth from the plants right back then. The only way that imprint could have stayed that long was through like electromagnetic light, just a flash. But light produces heat that much, so it would have burnt the shroud to a crisp to be able to imprint that on it. So somehow, and this is the part that they're like, okay, maybe this is real, we can't explain it. Somehow, when Christ was covered with this shroud in the tomb, which kind of lines up with the Bible anyway, of him rising from the tomb and everything, there was a blast of light that was bright enough but not hot to burn it at all, but to imprint himself onto the shroud, and it stayed through all this time. They can't fake it. Like you cannot recreate it.
Wow.
So very interesting.
Yeah, I just heard about.
And it looks, the really crazy part is if you look at it, it looks like every depiction of Christ you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part, I think about this all the time. I went and ran by this church down here. It's like St. Jude Melachite's Catholic church or whatever. They had a statue of Jesus outside. And like, every statue of Jesus that I've ever seen looks the same. Every picture looks the same. And I feel like there's a reason for that. I don't think you just, through human art and history and like retelling of stories, I don't think you just magically are like, oh, he looks like this, goes to this. There's a lot of different versions of everything else. Like everything else looks like there's different depictions, but it all looks the same. Right. And then like, have you seen that girl that painted like Jesus' face? She said that, oh yeah, she said God visited her. And it literally looks like the same. This is like a little girl that was too uneducated to like come up with this as a fabricated story. Yeah. It's a little girl, and it's the most beautiful painting ever. Yeah. Like, it's interesting. It's very interesting. The shroud is literally that face.
Well, I also saw how in the Bible talks about who did Jesus come to? It was like maybe 120 years after the person who saw the chariots.
Ezekiel.
Ezekiel.
I don't know if it was after. I can't recall.
It was sometime. It was whoever this was. Jesus came to him and he was like silver with a sword coming out of his mouth. You ever hear that story? Oh, okay. That's in the Bible somewhere, and they're talking about how like Jesus can come in different forms, but when he was on earth, he was just that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really interesting stuff. I was looking more into back to the Vatican like library. Apparently, you know, the Library of Alexandria. Remember how that's where it all is right there. Like how to use the pyramids was a big one, and then how to create the Philosopher's Stone. You ever hear that theory on the Philosopher's Stone? That's nuts. Wait, you just like keep burning your urine or you store it and like all this stuff.
And nuts.
That's wild.
I think that would make sense if the Romans were in control of the Library of Alexandria and then they magically burnt it down and then magically had this library that no one else can see.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of put two together.
Yeah.
I wonder what's in there. That'd be crazy.
I'd love to go into it.
I guarantee you that there will be this will come out in our lifetime. I guarantee you there will be a connection between the spiritual and the UFO thing that's happening right now and Christ. I guarantee you. And you know what? Oh my gosh, you need to go look. You know what remote viewing is?
Yeah.
There was a remote viewing lady that was on Sean Ryan's show. And you can remote view back in time. And so like people hear this and they're like, oh, this is schizo. But I know, at least I believe that it's real because we've literally saved like massive missions in military because of remote viewers. So like, I think it's in the Cold War, Red October, the movie about a submarine. The Russians were building this submarine that had never, it was a new technology, but we had no idea you could even build. They were like way more advanced than we were. And they tipped off a remote viewer and they were like, hey, they're building something. We don't know what it is. We got like some sort of tip, but like this is like could potentially end the world. It's like nuclear submarine. And this was before we had all this crazy shit. And the remote viewer literally views from the sky, like it sounds nuts. He views from the sky, tells them exactly what they're building, draws it, tells them the exact coordinates, like with his mind. And then they go look at it. They put a satellite over, they get a picture of it. It's the largest submarine that has ever been built, and it could run itself. There was a nuclear submarine before we had those, and they were literally like rolling it into the ocean because you have to roll that thing. It's so big. And there's a movie about it. It's called Red October, and it was because a reviewer saw it from his freak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he tipped off.
They don't mention that in the movie, do they?
Well, no, but the remote view program's real. Like there are CIA papers about it. Like it's a real thing. So anyway, my point being, we've remote viewed like the moon. There's pyramids on the moon that they've said they've seen. The same guy that saw that sub said he remote viewed Mars in the past. That there were like a people that looked similar to us on Mars, but they were all very distressed. Like something like the impending doom. They were waiting for their savior to come, is what he said. Because you don't see like movie reel. You get like excerpts. But the crazy one, Sean Ryan, this was like a month ago. He asked this lady all these stories remote viewing, and she's telling him. And then he's like, have you ever remote viewed like the crucifixion of Christ? Like just curious, bro. Her whole demeanor, like you know those paranormal movies where like someone will be talking and then the TV comes out and then all the wind is like sucked out of the room.
Oh yeah,
that happened to her on this podcast, and she would not talk. Like he was like, oh, you don't want to talk about that? She just sat there with her mouth shut, looked like she was tweaking out, like freaking out. So I think that there is like something we don't know. And I don't believe in my heart, I don't think that it's going to come out, and they'll probably try to prove it. I don't think it's going to come out that like aliens made us and that like Christ is fake and all this stuff. But I think they are going to try to pull that. And that's what I'm saying is I think in our lifetime, we will get some of the truth of like, it's not sci-fi. It's like a spiritual thing happening. And there is a proving of either Christ is real or they're going to try to prove that Christ is fake. And that would be the big shift. Because you imagine the impact, bro. If you imagine the impact that it would have on the world if the government came out and was like, oh yeah, every religion you've ever thought of is fake. We were created by Zebulon, whatever race.
yeah.
Here's proof. Like that would be a big impact, bro.
Yeah.
Very big impact.
I think that's what's in the bag. Okay. Now, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a remote viewing, but the first time I meditated, I astral projected, and I have proof of this even. So I was in Colorado. I'd never been there before, And I remember I got on the lift by myself because my buddy couldn't get a pass. So I was just sitting on the lift. And you know when it's snowing, everything's super quiet.
Yeah.
So I'm on the lift and I'm just like doing this. And I never even, I want to meditate. I was like, someone's telling me to meditate. So I just close my eyes and I just start not thinking thoughts. No joke. All of a sudden, I start to see myself go further and further up. I see the state of Colorado, and all of a sudden, I'm seeing the entire country. But the interesting thing was all the states were mapped out with this like blue line. And have you ever seen Donnie Darko? And Donnie Darko, there's this orb, I forget what they call it, but this orb comes out of everybody where it's their predestined destiny, essentially, where it shows everything. So I'm looking now, it's like this translucent, see-through kind of rainbow like orb. I'm in Colorado, my best friend's in Chicago, and I was like, I'm gonna try to send a message to him. So I see the orb come from Colorado and connect to Chicago, and it starts going like this. Woo, and I was like, tell Ben to call me and see how I'm doing. Tell Ben to call me and see how I'm doing. I just kept doing that. I guess it's the type of thing. I snowboard a couple times. I get to the mountain. I get a call from Ben. I'm like, Ben, I needed you to tell me right now why you're calling me. He goes, hey, man, I was just calling to see how you're doing.
Oh, I tell you guys.
Isn't that wild?
But that's just real too. Like it's so real. Like because when you think,
And it's so one for people to doubt.
oh well, yeah, of course, because it takes a bit of like faith because you can't see it.
Yeah.
But like this is serious with everything. But like when you think of someone, they can feel you thinking about them. How do you explain that?
It's connected consciousness.
Yeah, you can't explain it with any like physical anything. Like that's kind of you have to believe it kind of thing.
Right.
Which is it's real.
And a lot of people can't seem to get past science. Like if science doesn't say it, then it can. It's like science is the new religion.
And they're idiots because if you actually listen to the science, it proves the existence of a God. Mm-hmm. It has to. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson, even when asked, he avoids the question. Because when you go back all the way, if you go back far enough into science, there becomes a question of like, oh, we don't know why this happened. Like that's literally the ultimate, that's like the money question. Yeah. And like you can ask Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's an atheist, and he'll avoid the question. But like the real physicists, like even Nobel Prize guys, I've listened to like, I don't know the guy's name. He's Christian. And he's like, I used to be an atheist. And the farther I got back in science, I was like, oh my gosh, this has to be real. He's like, it's not, then we would not be here. Right. There's no way. If the sun was like a couple feet closer to us, we'd be burnt to a crisp. Like scientifically.
Right. Yeah.
Like, so you're telling me we just magically are the Goldilocks zone? And then like even the viscosity of water, like surface tension, if water did not have the viscosity that it has, like to a micro milligram, whatever I don't know the number, like super small number, Earth could not function because water would act the same way water does. So like all these little things, that's intelligent design. Right. You know, it's not a coincidence. You get Big Bang that, like, get out of here. Right. You're out of your mind.
And you add the fact that we're 70% water and so is the Earth and all that. I always thought about like, imagine you're an alien and you come and find our planet, how weird it would be to like, oh, you mean the thing that keeps everything alive is just going like this all around you and the moon moves it and people are surfing on it. Like
it's so real to us, but like that's such a crazy thing to think about.
Right.
Like that's nuts, bro.
That is wild. Like you see the ocean right there and it's just like, oh yeah, that's the ocean. But like pretending you never even seen it before, it's just so weird to think about. Like it's just like, it's kind of like alien in itself. It's just been like this and moving all the time.
And even having an atmosphere, like we can fly planes because you can actually push against wind, because wind is the air is a molecule. Like if there's no gravity, you couldn't fly an airplane. Like we like obviously nothing would be the way it is if there was no gravity. Yeah, like right. If you go into space, you can't do any of the shit we do here.
Right.
Which I think all that's fake anyway. Like I think bro, NASA has never taken a real picture of the Earth. Well, that's the CGI.
NASA's supposed to be the breakaway civilization. I mean, they're the Nazis.
Yes, they are.
They're the Nazis.
Werner von Braun. Yeah, foot.
Yeah, and that was one of the last things he said. You were the fake alien invasion.
Yep.
Which were
the moon landing was fake. Like all that shit's fake. So fake.
I like how Joe Rogan said how like, you know how disastrous it would be if we did go to the moon, but like they had to fake it because they didn't have the technology. I mean, it's kind of where they're live streaming.
Yeah, like
or they like your kick.
Yeah. Bro,
so in the 60s from
and it was not even well done. Like now you look at it, you're like, this is so fake. And people believe it.
Right. Well,
people still believe it.
Like, have you ever seen The Shining?
Yeah.
So apparently Stanley Kubrick was part of like directing the moon landing mission for the video. And in that thing, like he's wearing the Apollo 11 shirt. The kid is wearing the Apollo 11 shirt. They're in room 237, and the moon is 237,000 miles away from Earth.
That's one of those little like psyopy karmic things that they put out.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Like Buzz Aldrin is from, or no, who's the other guy? It was Buzz Aldrin, and he's from Ohio.
Yeah, I hate to be the other guy because no one really knows.
Sorry, who's the other guy? Buzz Aldrin, and I have no clue. Anyway, the other guy, you look up a clip on YouTube. He's like getting old. He's kind of getting like Alzheimer's, like kind of laying off his rocker. And there's like several different clips where he's in a classroom, and a little girl, like it's happened multiple times. A little girl will be like, "Oh, like when did we go to the moon?" And he like forgets to like go with the act, or he's just sick of lying, and he kind of like he Joe Biden's it and is like just being real. And he's like, "Oh, sweetheart, we never went to the moon." There's like 5 times she's done that.
Well, he became a huge alcoholic after he came back.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't take it.
Yeah. And so it's one of two things. They either did go, and there is the possibility we did go, and we also just faked that video for the space race to look like we won. See, I said it's not real. This is the other belief I have, because I've seen a lot of shit about it, is we did go, and we saw stuff that terrified us so bad that we wouldn't go back. We haven't gone back again.
What have you heard the leak tape of Armstrong's like full audio going up, and he goes,
Oh, wait, what the fuck is that?
yeah, well, he says, look at those, it wasn't orbs. It was like something, look at those big hills. I wonder how they get out of there. That's what he said, approaching the moon.
So it's one of the two. It's either we didn't go or we did go. And what we saw was so like terrifying that we didn't go back again.
Right.
Because the same guy on top, why can't I think it was Buzz Aldrin? No, Buzz Aldrin was the... Oh, no, it is Buzz, because Hill was the first one. So what else? I was right. So it's Buzz Aldrin. He's from Ohio, so like we saw him in school and stuff. Yeah, dude, there's a clip, even on top of that, like where it's where he said both, because he's literally been like, oh, we did go to the moon to these little girls in school. And there's also one where he was like, yeah, like, I will talk about it. Like, I won't tell you what I saw. So it's one of the two.
Well, on a C-SPAN interview, Buzz Aldrin was saying there's a monolith on the moon, and we have to go back because we need to find out who put that there. Have you seen that clip?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that one's wild.
I know there's pyramids on the moon for sure. Like we've seen them with like telescopes.
Yeah.
It's not hard, but
And do you believe pyramids are the free energy?
yeah, basically. I think it's the same thing, because you don't build them in that manner and like that, and there's no reason to build them. I think the real theory is they were like kind of like power plants,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, because the limestone and like gold caps and stuff. But like you don't build those with slave labor.
No, that's right.
If you did, there would be so much more crazy shit around the earth. Like, no way. No.
And it's the same structures built in so many different places on the earth. Like it's the same way.
Yeah, there's massive pyramids in South America that don't get talked about. If you watch Graham Hancock, you know what that is?
Yeah.
So like he talks about it, but they like will literally like wipe it from the internet. Like I've watched multiple podcasts that get taken away. But they'll talk about like, oh yeah, in Antarctica there's giant pyramids. South America there's giant cities and giant pyramids. I've seen all that up.
Like I heard of the all black one in Alaska.
Yeah.
That one's the underground pyramid. That one's apparently like 2 miles wide.
Yeah, like crazy shit. You should watch the Sean Ryan show more, because there's a lot of stuff that like our history's all wrong. I fully believe. I think none of it has upside down shit. But there's like so many clips of military guys seeing stuff and like reporting it and getting told like don't talk about that again.
Yeah.
And that Sean Ryan is full military. It's like I watch that a lot.
I'll have to check that out. I'm gonna see that remote.
Dude, it's like one of the best podcasts ever. Is Sean's show. It's also
No, a representative of the military was in contact with me about that slider interview stuff. And all
really the light thing when you would always pose like you walk by a light. No,
I don't go through it. It can freak me out sometimes. And so ironically, because of AI, I've been able to dive deeper into what's going on because AI recognizes it and gives its own theories. It says it has to do with the bioenergetic levels and electromagnetic levels within the interference between the two. So there was this time, Seb, do you know about Seb's cousin, Robert? So Robert, he's one of 17, those damn Romanian Catholics, not to get down. But he's one of 17, that's why Seb has so many cousins. He has like hundreds. Robert came over last year, and when he got there, he goes, dude, check out my new watch. And I'm like, oh man, that's sick. I'm like, that. And in my head, I'm like, that looks familiar. He goes, yeah, I really like it because of the black dial. I'm like, no, you've already shown me this before. He goes, I never shown you this before. I got this 4 days ago. And I was like, why so, like, I remember. And then he goes, yeah, I really like it because I like the smooth bezel instead of like the, and I go, no, like, I remember it wasn't like deja vu. It was like, no, you told me this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I always think about that stuff, and I'll tie it back into the slider energy. But in that moment, like, that was a that ended up being a very, very significant day that I often look back on. And in that moment, I was wondering, after whatever happened, I was like, I wonder if my future self looking back on this moment is causing some sort of interference. And AI was telling me about how it's possible what's happening is something called retrocausality. You ever hear about that? So in quantum physics, they found that an reaction can happen before the action. And like when an action happens, it can actually have a reaction forwards and backwards at time. So it's saying how it's possible what's happening is an electromagnetic residue or electromagnetic frequencies being affected by my future self having that energetic thought going back to the previous timeline, so much so that it affects it in the present way. Now, this is a screw you. You haven't heard this story. So, like, one of my biggest mistakes in life was moving to Miami at the time I did, because it led to so many things that I wish it didn't. But I was in the building, in my building back home, and this light stuff happens to me all the time, right? But never to this level. So in this moment, I'm about to get ready to go to Miami. This was when I moved here 3 years ago now. And I am like, all right, midnight. I was seeing this girl uptown, like, let's just put all my stuff in the car, and then I can just drive around in the morning. We can pack it all right now. So I put everything I owned into the elevators. Everything else was sold. Everything I owned in the world was in this elevator. I come back to make sure I didn't forget anything, and I had 2 monitor mounts. I'm like, let me just order this really quick. I went to order them, and my whole building lost power for 7 hours, and it shut the elevators, larking all my stuff in there. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. This is
Insane, bro.
this is crazy. And I think about that a lot because when it comes to the light stuff, I'm wondering, because that's one of the moments I thought back more so than any moment right there. That was the most frequent one. I wonder if the retrocausality of all the times I thought back to that moment of cause, and this is according to AI, the thought, the energy could be interacting with the actual,
That is so interesting.
my possible bioenergetic levels, and then causing an interference in the electromagnetic levels. Because there's been some weird stuff that has happened throughout my life. Like here's another example. When I told you about that stuff I was going through in Scottsdale, like after that stuff happened and I was like having this real dark energy. Did you see my Instagram post where all those lights were happening?
Yeah. I remember seeing that.
It was
brought it up.
right at that time. And I've never seen anything like, just for perspective, I would go into a parking lot and 9 street lights would be going like this. I have it all.
I'll put videos on his Instagram story.
Now I didn't see them all 9 at a time. And the next day I pulled to a basketball game, 5 lights going like this. We get done with the hike, 6 lights are going like this. And it was just like cranked. And so that retrocausality stuff is really interesting.
Dude, that's an interesting theory. What if every time you have a bad feeling, it's your future self remembering the bad thing that happened that you didn't know was about to happen?
Right, and trying to communicate something. And what was really weird is I never saw Interstellar until last year. And 2 weeks before I saw Interstellar, I'm like, I wonder if there's a connection between my future self and this slider energy stuff. And then in that movie, I really relate.
Maybe you're thinking right now about all the mistakes of moving to Miami. This thought was the one that caused that to happen at the time.
Exactly.
Which, like, I mean, like we talked about the timeline thing, which we can't even fathom how that works.
Right.
But like, so the actual science says it's what it says. Yeah, that's crazy to think about, dude.
Yeah.
Like when you have maybe that's what like a gut feeling is it's like, because everything is perpetually in motion.
Right.
Maybe gut feeling is a lack of knowledge because it hasn't experienced yet, but you will experience it, and then you'll think about it backwards.
Right.
That's crazy to think about.
Oh, when it comes to gut feelings, I think it has something to do with, and I'm real iffy on the properties or principles of transurfing and all that, but I'm wondering if it has something to do with what you're programming your intuition to do. So like say you're super negative and you're like, nothing's gonna work out, but then you have a gut feeling to do something. And that gut feeling could be the future failure version of yourself leading to wherever your programmed intuition's guiding you, and you listen to that gut feeling. So I think it's really important to you program your intuition to wherever you want to be, and then that future self version of yourself is going to give you those gut feelings.
Dude, that's crazy. But that's like the same thing as like what people say, the law of attraction. You were thinking your future. You're feeling the current thoughts of what you will feel in the future.
Right.
It's the same things backwards.
Right.
That's crazy. I never thought of that.
It's up to you to actually like then do the things that your gut feeling says to do.
Yeah, that's nuts, guys. I swear, we're good at business. I swear.
I know, yeah. This is
This is how you know you're cool people when you could like, bro. We are entrepreneurs. We've just ripped on crazy shit.
I like I said at the beginning, I have no idea where this is gonna go.
I love this stuff though. Yeah, like in my free time, this is what I learn about. Yeah, outside of like guns and stuff, but like,
Right.
it's mad interesting.
You know why? Because it feels like one of the few real things left. Like you have so much fakeness everywhere that like when you get a glimpse of something that's real, it's like I want some more of that, I want some more of that. Or it's kind of like, you know, if you are like seeing a bunch of girls and like you like them, but then you like really love a girl, it's like you want some more of that. You know, you kind of go crazy for that.
It's interesting, dude. Like, and it's like you're right. It's real. It's like the history. All of our history's wrong.
Right.
If you don't believe that, you're so
We
stupid.
haven't even touched on Facteria or anything. We that
Bro, like you're so stupid if you don't think everything that we are taught is wrong.
like imagine how they're gonna write 2020. Like there
It'll be asked doctor.
was this evil man in office and he was letting everyone die, and then Joe Biden, the savior, came with his partner Pfizer and just saved the world from total annihilation. That's what they're gonna write. Have you heard the theory about what the real weapon of mass destruction was?
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, what do you the like demonic, spiritual, biblical stuff?
What was that? You just let me another Lucy, by the way.
I got your Earth. I've heard of a couple. Like I've heard of a couple stories, like in Kandahar, like when we first touched down, that we were there to retrieve an artifact.
Yep.
Like a lot of soldiers were like down now.
Going through the museums and everything.
Yeah, and we raided them, and ISIS did the same thing. Like when ISIS first popped off on the scene, I remember my mom went and got a bachelor's degree during all this crazy shit when we were like poor. Like kudos to her, it's awesome. But she had this like social science teacher named Azim something, and this I think this dude was like special agent because he was at some bumfuck school in the middle of nowhere in southern Ohio.
Yeah.
And he literally like would fly to like the Middle East and do like special agent stuff. Like I swear to God. And I know this because my mom came to class one time with bruises because like my dad. And I remember meeting this guy, and I remember my mom telling me about this. I didn't get it at the time. And he basically was like, if he ever touches you again, like give me a call at this number and like he'll disappear. Like that kind of shit. And so, and looking back, I'm like, why is this guy just like going to the Middle East to like save artifacts and stuff working at Shawnee State University in fucking Portsmouth, Ohio, which is even worse than Piketon. Like, bro, it's like, it's shit. It's horrible. Like, why is the guy there? They were going after artifacts.
Yeah.
Now, what artifacts? I don't know. And then the Kandahar Giants were, you heard about that? A whole bunch of soldiers went into this cave, supposedly, and there's a lot of like eyewitnesses of this. And this could be like complete bullshit, and I could just be like talking on my ass. But like I've seen this a lot. They went into this cave searching for something. They weren't told what, and they found fucking like giants chained up, like giants, like red hair, and they were descriptive. They were like big red haired giants, and like shit like broke out, whatever. But the story I keep hearing, which I think you might be talking about, is that there's like entities chained up underneath of the Euphrates.
No, I didn't hear that.
I've heard that a lot. I don't know the validity of this, but like I've heard this a lot.
Well, when I heard is like they found the technology to create a portal and like so you can travel dimensionally, and that was like the real weapon of mass destruction. Is they couldn't allow the Middle East to have that portal, and
Wait, bro, they never had nukes. Are you kidding me? How the fuck are these people in caves? Iran, even today, has like no technology. Like it's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
yeah,
It's people living with goats in fucking caves.
yeah.
And you think that they like have nuclear weapons? Like people don't fathom, and no one questions it because we just hear it news. You know what goes into making nuclear weapons? You have to have the GDP of like a massive country to even fund something like that. Like it's Afghanistan, Iran, like Iraq.
Right.
There's not shit.
Yeah, clearly something else.
Yeah, they're bullshit.
Whether it's the poppy field, which we all know about the poppy
Yeah,
field.
yeah, and you know who was profiting from that?
Great farm.
The CIA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Bringing it back to the Native Americans. You ever hear the Red Moon story of Christopher Columbus?
Maybe not.
This one's nuts. So a part of the big way they were able to take over is obviously the plague or whatever. But when they
Oh, I know it's right, Bob.
when he said like my God's gonna
Yeah. Because they knew, because they had charted.
exactly Lunar you'll see is that
But that's the kind of manipulation that's like happened forever. Yeah, bro, these poor Native American people, like you gotta feel for them. They got fucked up. They got smallpox. They got guns, like shot at them, like all this awful shit. Like that had to have sucked. And then you got Christopher Columbus like manipulating the moon.
Crazy, right?
That's fucked.
But it is the world's always been conquered.
And that was our original point. It was history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
So none of this shit that you're taught is what has actually happened. It's what they want you to believe to further their agenda or the cause.
It took me till I was like 20 to realize that we didn't show up, and Native Americans did make us a dinner, and that's where Thanksgiving.
That's all we were taught in kindergarten.
Hey, I remember that day.
Like, bro, the Thanksgiving, like the Plymouth group, disappeared. No one knows where they.
What do you mean?
Like the original, I'll have to Google the name of these people, but the first group of people that came over, they came like to actually settle, not like Columbus, but like the actual settlers that came from Europe. They came over here, and then they had to go back and get supplies because like they had just landed and they had barely survived. Like everyone dies on those ships over. And so they came back like years later, like 3 years, because it takes a while to get across on a wood boat. So they come back and everyone's just gone. And there were like engravings. This is like real history, not conspiracy. There were like engravings of like symbols and stuff on all the walls and like the camp where they were, and they literally all vanished. Not a single person was found. They have no idea what happened to them. Just gone, no trace.
The Native Americans or the European?
Europeans. Oh, they vanished. Like completely gone. It's like one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in like American history. It's like, they're like, we don't know how fucking happened to these people. So the Thanksgiving thing, bullshit. They probably got eaten.
You probably got scalloped and eaten. Like, I guarantee you know it's happened.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, history's brutal, dude. I love history though.
Me too. What do you think of the Ark of the Covenant? You think they still got one?
So that kind of stuff, I don't really place a lot of like faith or anything in that, because I think it's all just futile. I think that's like the Catholic thing is like man trying to do things. Like Jesus does not talk about that in any like sense of value or anything. Or the Bible doesn't really. Like it's a historical artifact, yeah. But like also they have an historical artifact in Jerusalem of like a shard of wood. They're like, oh, this is from the cross, yeah. But like, can you prove that? I don't fucking know. Does that have any bearing on my soul or anything? No. So I mean, it could be real, but I guarantee people would try and find it or not, but find it for like good purposes.
That's another theory of why they went into Iraq.
I've heard a lot of those, dude.
Like, I mean, they have one of the last ones. Oh man,
How long have we been to one?
I don't know. We're about to see.
Holy shit.
3-5. We got 8 minutes.
2 hours and 40 minutes.
Oh, my battery's about to die. This one. Well, look, I think that's a good.
Yeah, that's a banger podcast. Guys, I swear.
So, yeah, before you go, tell me about Close the Cartel.
Yeah, so sales training company. That's the skill of it. Like, no, I always preface it with this, bro, because when people ask me about this, I feel like some type of way because everyone like slings courses, and I'm very anti-grifty. Mm-hmm. Like it really pisses me off when I see people manipulating, like just fun informed young kids. Like if you would have been like grifting when I was a kid, I would have fell for it because I was naive.
Yeah.
You know, because I look up to you guys. Like I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
So I always preface it with that. Like no course is going to save your ass. No information is to save your ass. Like you have to save your ass, but it helps a lot. So we teach sales. We help people land sales roles. And not in just any kind of sales, it's remote sales. So people that sell courses, coaching, agencies, roofing, solar, anything that's like really high ticket, you could do it remote on your phone or your laptop, live in Miami, live where you want, travel. We teach that skill set, changed my life, and we've been doing it since 2021, which is crazy for an info company to last that long. We've got like 5,000-6,000 students since then, crazy success stories, a lot of results. So I mean, people want to learn sales, and I think it's the best skill to learn fundamentally to start in business. Yeah, it made me a good marketer, made me a good communicator. It made me money. Like it makes me better at every other skill in business. I look at it as like the bottom of the pier, 100%. So yeah, that's what we do.
Everything is sales. Everything. No conversation sales, a girls sales, like it all could.
Every that. And when you get really good at it, you're like, oh shit, I can like manipulate. The word manipulate is not a negative word, by the way. Manipulate is used to change. So people hear manipulate like, oh, he's like bad. It's not bad. Like when you can manipulate the world around you, like you have a real superpower.
Shape your own reality.
Yeah.
All right, well, Luke, thanks for coming.
Yeah, that was fire. Kindness. Thank you, bro.
And this podcast is also brought to you by AutoDS. AutoDS is one of the industry leaders in all dropshipping fulfillment tools, but they take it a whole lot of steps further. Not only can you get dropshipping time down to 2 to 3 business days, you also get so many more tools. Because AutoDS is one of the biggest dropshipping softwares in the world, they've implemented a product research tool that tracks all their analytics, all their orders, and then you can use that data to find your own winning products and see where the trends are going, or even use a product that you know is selling really well right now. They have a TikTok ad spy tool built in, so you can even look deep into the TikTok ad side of things for all your product research needs. And all of it is automated. Gone are the days where you need like a VA going around and fulfilling these orders for you. AutoDS, it is completely automated. Not even just the orders, but also the tracking updates and the returns. All of that is taken care of by them. They already have a lineup of 500 million products you can choose from. It sounds like a joke, but that's an actual truth. But I think what really makes them stand out is all their worldwide suppliers that they're connected to. Because most softwares are just like AliExpress and their own suppliers, but these guys are, you know, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Costco, Target, Overstock, Lowe's, and so many more. AutoDS is truly the all-in-one tool you need for all your dropshipping needs. So if you'd like to test it out, go to the link in the description below. You'll get a special deal through my link. Whether you're brand new at dropshipping or an experienced dropshipper, definitely check these guys out. Now back to the podcast. This podcast is brought to you by dropshipping.ai. That means this podcast is brought to you by myself. This is my website. This website is completely free for everybody. I don't want your money now or later. This is not some funnel. This is completely free. You get a free dropshipping store built by AI. You get free products chosen by AI, and you get a free course on how to use AI to dropship in the modern day era. AI has changed every industry. Everybody knows that, and dropshipping is not excluded. We have the most relevant, most powerful, most up-to-date information specifically tailored to dropshipping and AI fusion that we're seeing right now. And like I said before, this is completely free. I'm one of Shopify's top affiliates in the entire world. In fact, I was awarded top Shopify affiliate in North America, so they pay me to give you guys this for free. It's a beautiful cycle called the cycle of life. So if you want to support yourself and support this podcast and support me, go to dropshipping.ai, claim that store, claim those products, claim that course, and let's get back to the podcast. Right now, Snapchat is allowing me to offer you a special deal where if you spend $350 in ads, you're going to get $375 in ad credits. Snapchat's often one of the most overlooked advertising platforms there is, but it's also one of the largest. So if you have ads running on other platforms that are already working, take advantage of this deal just to see what would happen if you took it over to Snapchat, because Snapchat is a whole different audience, and the average Snapchat user opens it 40 times a day. I know a lot of you watching right now open it maybe 60 times a day. So you might as well go ahead and try this out, because you would be surprised how well this works and how many businesses this has really, really scaled up for.